favorite ever streams. I am so excited for this stream. This genuinely is one that I've wanted to do, I think, since the channel started, to be honest. This is definitely a stream that I should have done already. It's a stream that I'm genuinely looking forward to. It's a stream that I'm amazed I never found time for in the past. This is Royal Rumble 1992. This is absolutely in my wheelhouse. You want to talk like my era of wrestling. We're talking late 80s, early 90s. And, we're talking Hulkamania, we're talking Ultimate Warrior, we're talking Undertaker, we're talking British Bulldog, we're talking Macho Man, we're talking Jake the Snake Roberts, we're talking, like, all these legends, like, all these Hall of Famers. I think over half of this Royal Rumble is now in the Hall of Fame. Think about that. Over half of what you're going to see on this Royal Rumble tonight, the entrants are in the Hall of Fame. The reason why I regard this as the best ever Royal Rumble, I mean, that's a big statement. And certainly saying it before we're just about to watch it as well. But for me, I think that this is a Rumble where it is legend after legend after legend after legend. It's just ram full of legends. So I think the fact that we've got so many legends in the Rumble, not only that, but the fact that the title is on the line. The winner of the Royal Rumble gets the WWE Championship, WWF, back in the day. So, the winner actually gets the belt. The title is on the line. Over half of the Rumble is Hall of Famers. It's some of the biggest names, biggest characters in the history of WWE. As well as that, the commentary, which I'm probably going to ruin a bit because obviously I'm going to be talking whilst it's on for those that can't watch along with us. It's amazing. I mean, you've got Bobby the Brain Heenan, who no spoiler on this, right? But he picks someone that he wants to win and he backs them. And every time they're about to get eliminated, he's like screeching and screaming and saying how it's not fair. And he really adds to the enjoyment of this show. So if you're not familiar with this era of wrestling, I know there's quite a few in our community that maybe don't go this far back. If you're not familiar with this era of wrestling, don't worry about it. We're going to go through it all. We can talk a bit of backstory. We can talk about what's like happening at the time. We can talk about where things lead. We can talk about, as we said, things that are going on, because it's really important to know what's going on in wrestling at this time, because we are right in the start of the steroid trial. So, this is really the time where wrestling's going through a massive change. This is really the end. In a way, this is the end and also a beginning, because I don't think wrestling is quite the same after this event. If you have a look at like WrestleMania 8, maybe we get through to WrestleMania. But once we get past WrestleMania 8, I think wrestling really changes. And the reason why it changes is because of the steroids. So there's a lot of drugs in wrestling at this time, and that's what's making all the superstars really big. And, the government are looking into it. Vince is under a lot of pressure because, drugs are illegal. And WWE seems to have a lot of them. And there seems to be a lot of big guys. And it seems like Vince could be in big trouble. It seems like Vince could be going to prison. And he has to fight this court case. And all of that is just starting around this time. So this is where, I mean, if you look at the image behind me, you see the likes of like Hulk Hogan. You've got the likes of Sid Justice. You're going to see the likes of the British Bulldog. You're going to see all these massive guys. And really throughout 92, you're going to start seeing that shift. By the time we get to 93, it's done. I mean, by the time we get to 93, Bret Hart is taken over, Bret Hart's not jacked. He's a much smaller guy. Shawn Michaels is taken over. You're starting to see, like, the big, fat Yokozuna. You're starting to see Bret Hart. You're starting to see Shawn Michaels. You're starting to see Razor Ramon, who looked amazing, but wasn't Davey Boy. He wasn't the Warlord. He wasn't Hulk Hogan. So we are going to see a bit of a shift. So this, in a way, is sort of the end, because the Rumble in 93 is nothing like this. Nothing like this. You don't see the kind of size of guys that we see here. And it's all because of the steroid trials that's going on. This is the Rumble that leads to WrestleMania 8. So, again, just to put it into perspective, where we are, this is the Rumble that leads to that. I hope everyone is well as well. I do want to, whilst the show's on, I'll jump into the chat and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm quite happy to talk about anything. Talk about this Royal Rumble, of course, 92, but also at the time of recording this, it is the day after the Royal Rumble 2022. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk about the Royal Rumble 2022 and the fallout for that. We did a very long breakdown after. I think we was around about an hour and a half after. So not only did we do 2 hours before, not only did we do the whole Royal Rumble, but I think we was around about an hour and a half after as well. So I feel like we've definitely ticked the Royal Rumble 2022 box. And as I said, there was no football today. And I had this big gap in my calendar, in my schedule. So I was like, man, people keep asking me for these retro watch-alongs. So let's do it. And 92, I can't believe I've never done 92. So it's a real pleasure to be doing this. So make sure that you find it. I've seen there's been some super chats, so we'll get to those, and then we'll get to your comments as well. Make sure that you can find it on the WWE Network. So Royal Rumble 1992 is what you're looking for. And I've got it all queued up and I've got it ready to go. Apparently it runs for 2 hours, 39 minutes. And so we will press play in a minute. I know that with these watch-alongs, a lot of people at that point will probably just be like, nah, I'm not interested in watching this along. But as I said, I mean, I'm going to try and make this work without you having to watch it if you can't watch along. Because, as he said, we'll be talking about 92 and we'll be dropping in lots of facts and things. But I am going to try and bear in mind, because I've done that. I've clicked on watch-alongs before and I never watch along. I never watch along. But I've clicked on watch-alongs before and it's always like, oh, look at that. Wow, that was a great moment. And it's like, this is dull. So I'm going to bear in mind that there will be people that won't be actually watching along. So hopefully this will just still work, even if you're not watching along. I am going to bear you in mind. But as he said, make sure that you find Royal Rumble 1992. For some reason I have it, and for some reason it's not loading. So it's all right. I can wrestle with that for a little bit. Whilst I'm wrestling with that, I'm going to jump in and say hello to Sultan. Sultan, shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the support. Sultan, a big supporter yesterday. So hope you are well. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's Royal Rumble, as I'm sure many of you did. I have seen some mixed feedback on the Rumble. I have seen people saying that they didn't enjoy it. I do think part of that is because of the end of the 2022 Royal Rumble being a bit underwhelming. So I think that's the reason why. I think the final hour really let that Rumble down. Right, I did see another super chat which I just want to try and get to. There we go. David Walker, hello. David Walker says, younger ones can see what a real Rumble looks like. Younger ones can see what a real Rumble looks like. Right, here we go. I'll tell you what, just trying to load up this Royal Rumble. It seems a little bit tricky to load. Right, hang on. Yeah, this Royal Rumble seems a little bit tricky to load. And the way that I'm finding, because I don't know if you're going to have the same issue as me. So if you are trying to load the Royal Rumble and you're having some kind of trouble, because I've just had trouble. If you actually go down to the jump to part of it, where it actually lets you jump to a certain part of the match. If you actually click on the first one, which is Orient Express against New Foundation. If you click on that, you can then actually just go back a little bit and it seems to load up all right. If you actually just load it and press play, it seems to struggle. I don't know if that could just be for me, but if it's for you, that seems to be a fix and a way around it. Go down to where it says jump to, click on one of the chapters, go right back to the start. Boom. So, yes, David Walker, hope you are well. Heather said, I hope my comment didn't offend you, but it is what it is. Brock didn't need the Rumble win. They could have found a different way to get to Roman. To be honest, Heather, I didn't see your comment, or at least I don't remember seeing your comment. So, plus, I don't know, if I saw it's from you, Heather, I know you don't mean no offense with any comments. So, even if your comment had seemed a little bit off, as soon as I saw it was for you, then not a problem at all. So what did you say? Brock didn't need the Rumble win. They could have found a different way to get to Roman. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think but what we were saying last night is that I think they wanted those casual fans that maybe only tune in for a Royal Rumble, because there will be people that, I love the Rumble. Do you remember the Rumble? It's on this weekend. And they'll tune in and they'll watch the Rumble. They'll give it a watch, but they ain't watching Raw and they ain't watching SmackDown. And I don't know when the last show they watched might have been last year's WrestleMania. I mean, we know that WrestleMania is peak interest, and certainly that interest doesn't carry over to the Raws and the SmackDowns and everything. So I think that if take Royal Rumble in isolation, so take it in isolation. And I think what they wanted is they wanted you to get the whole story last night. They wanted you to know that Ronda's back. They wanted you to know that Roman and Brock are feuding. They wanted you to know why. They wanted you to know that they will face at WrestleMania. And they wanted to really get a lot of stuff across to those casual fans that, might be able to get them back for WrestleMania. Or if they do come back for WrestleMania, at least they've got a really good idea as to what's happening. Or you might be able to grab them to the point where they're like, oh, I want to see how this plays out. I want to see Brock and Roman now. When are they face-to-face? Friday? Okay. I don't know. I mean, I can only put it down to that. Because for storytelling-wise, you're absolutely right. Didn't need to win the Rumble. Could have gone to someone else like Kevin Owens or whatever, and he could have gone after Bobby Lashley or whatever it might be. But I think Brock and Roman are going to face each other at WrestleMania. I think that was always the plan. I think Brock was firm favourite. I felt that they would go that way. And I can only imagine that they did it because they just want to make sure everyone watching knows this is your WrestleMania this year. This is it. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I don't disagree. They absolutely could have got to it another way. Right, I tell you what we're going to do is, I'm sure we're just going to keep chatting away, but it seems pointless to chat away and not press start and get this ball rolling. So we are going to get going here. So I am going to press start in. I hope everyone's had time to get it all queued up. Again, if you're not going to watch along, because maybe you can't, because you can't get access to the network right now or whatever it might be, don't worry about it. As I said, I'm going to bear people in mind that can't watch along. I really just want this to be a chilled... It's Sunday night at the time of recording this. This is a show that I absolutely love. Certainly the Rumble aspect of this show. So this is just going to be a chilled Sunday night stream where we watch the Royal Rumble. I'll bear in mind that, it's going to be what it's going to be. And we'll just chat along and whatever. So, yeah, if you can't watch along, don't worry about it. Right, here we go then. In 3... 2, 1, go. Nice. There we go. So, if you are a bit late coming to it, you can. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I love this music, man. It's so simple. Boom, boom, boom. I can just imagine Jim Johnston in a room, knocking this together. I'm sure this is a Jim Johnston piece. Dun, 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 dun. Classic, innit? Classic. And they're just going through all the people that are in it. Warlord, El Matador, Shawn Michaels, Sid Justice, IRS, Nikolai Volkov, Texas Tornado. They're telling everyone. There was no surprises back in 92. In fairness, there was no one to bring back. Greg the Hammer Valentine, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and Hulk Hogan. Hogan must pose. It's time. Ah, I love it. Look at that. I don't know where we are. We can find out in a second. I want to try and get to some of these. David Walker said, "This is awesome." It is awesome. Dun, 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 dun. Get ready to rumble. Oh my god, I do want to keep watching and seeing what's Bobby. Oh, Gorilla and Bobby, the best two. Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Oh, Sultan, shout out to you, bud. Really appreciate the support. You don't have to keep sending in super chats. Hollywood guy, dude, thank you so much. Days, I did find last night's Rumble a little boring, somewhat predictable. First, why invite Ronda only for her to lose and sandbagging Brock for a revenge story seems a bit desperate to me anyway. I'm sorry, says Hollywood guy. Why invite Ronda only for her to lose? I don't know what you mean by that bit. And Brock for a revenge storyline seems a bit desperate. Well, I think that, you know, they're the two biggest stars. They want to get them in a match again. And I think this is an interesting twist because this time it's Roman that will be the heel and it's Brock that will be the face. And obviously, I mean, like the whole betrayal with Paul Heyman, I think it gives a little wrinkle as well. So I don't know. I get that people want something different. They don't want this match again. Like, I think you would get The Rock if his schedule was free, in all fairness. But it's not, and so this is probably the biggest match they can do. Right, we got the Orient Express, but Hollywood guy, thank you so much for the support. And it's a great point. I think you make some really interesting points. Right, Orient Express against the New Foundation. Now, the New Foundation was the Hart Foundation, but it wasn't the Hart Foundation because it wasn't Brett, it was Owen. So they called them the New Foundation. How about that? I know, look, pretty much all of you are going to know a lot of this stuff, but... Oh, look at this as well. Look at what they had them wearing. Same kind of costumes that High Energy would wear. Like really baggy blue kind of MC Hammer trousers. And then they had like these jackets that had like parts of them in with check, like black and white, like check. There's Jim the Anvil. I remember hearing Bret Hart talking about how you had to babysit Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You just, like, he would always want to go out drinking. And Bret said that he just got really tired of it. He got really tired of, like, having to babysit Jim the Anvil. And, you know, eventually they split them apart. And, like, apparently Owen was all right at doing it as well, but not as good as what Bret was at, like, babysitting him. And so it meant that, you know, this team didn't stick around for long because I think Jim the Anvil gets released. He partied too much, he drank too much, he caused too much trouble. So, yeah, we've got the Orient Express taking on the New Foundation. The undercard for this Rumble is not the strongest, in all fairness. You know, it's just some tag matches. And honestly, back then, this was fine. And what they're doing is they're just building up the Rumble. Right now, you can hear Bobby saying that his hands are sweating. The reason for that is because Ric Flair, the nature boy, Ric Flair, is going to be in the Royal Rumble. He hadn't been in WWE very long. He'd come over from WCW, and he had the NWA Championship. I think it was, I don't know if they were calling it the WCW or the NWA one. It was big gold. So he had that belt. And he was even showing it on TV. It would be like Hangman Page coming over to WWE now, showing off the AEW Championship, saying he is the real world champion. Like, it was that shocking back in the day. And they got told they weren't allowed to show the belt, so they kept having to blur it out and all this kind of stuff. Like, they kept threatened they were going to get sued by WCW. So they had to keep blurring it. But they did have their belt. They did have big gold. And Ric Flair, who jumped ship, was like claiming he was the real champion. And anyway, he's been in for a few months now. And we get to the point where he's in this Royal Rumble. And the title, the WWF title, is on the line. The winner of the Rumble becomes the WWF champion. And so Bobby is right behind Ric Flair here. So good as well. Like, he's really nervous about it. Corey K said it is going to be the Bengals against the 49ers or the Rams at the Super Bowl. The Bengals against the 49ers or Rams. That's kind of interesting. So the Chiefs didn't make it. Or the Cowboys or Tampa Bay. Wow, that's very interesting. We will be doing the Super Bowl. I will fit that in. It'll probably be over on the Football Days channel. So many of you won't know that I do have a second channel. We will be doing it over there. I think it sits a bit more natural over there. So we will be doing it over on that channel. Nice takedown by Owen Hart. Head scissor takedown. Frankensteiner. And working on the arm. This undercard, it shouldn't stick around for too long. There's some alright matches on here. We've got things like Roddy Piper against the Mountie coming up. And I think we've also got Natural Disasters, who I love. Earthquake, Typhoon. It is weird. It is weird because going back and watching this now, it's kind of like, this is cool. Getting to see Owen and Jim working together and nice little tag match. But I think if we were watching this now, I think you'd be like, oh, this is just a Raw match. Do you know what I mean? Like, this match right here is the kind of thing you would expect to just see on Raw or SmackDown. I think it'd be quite underwhelming. But, like, because we don't watch 1992. In fact, Raw wasn't even around. Neither was SmackDown. But it would have been on something like Primetime Wrestling or Wrestling Challenge. Something like that. Superstars. And, yeah, I think looking back now, you can kind of go... can look at things maybe with rose-tinted glasses. Jimmy Anvil's in there, the powerhouse. Crowder involved. It's there's so much that's interesting. If you look like it's railings, like how AEW use. So, you know, you've got like the railings, there's no barricades. The ringside mats are blue. The ropes are red, white, and blue. You know, loads of like little interesting... just little differences that when you go back and look now, you go, wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. The referee as well. Look at the referee in his shirt and bow tie. It looks awesome. Referee should wear that now. Referee with his little shirt and his bow tie on. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. Edward said, question, why is everyone hating on Ronda winning the Rumble? I don't get it. When she said 2 years ago, people need to get over it. Well, I mean, look, we know that a lot of WWE fans are very much and very passionate in just wanting to support wrestlers that they watch all year round, and I can understand that. You know, someone coming in that hasn't been in for a few years that's now going to take... a WrestleMania headline spot away from Bianca or Liv or someone like that. I mean, do you remember last year when Bianca had that great moment with Sasha and like Bianca's crying and we got a really great match? What if Ronda had come back last year and we never got that moment? I mean, what if Bianca never got that time to shine? So I can understand people being against Ronda coming in because it could have been Liv this year. In fact, it looks like Sasha is the one that will miss out. So Sasha is potentially the one that's lost her WrestleMania championship spot. And I can understand it. I'm not bothered, to be frank. I mean, I love UFC, don't I? So I love Ronda, I love Brock. I've got utmost respect for those fighters. But I can understand it. Jim the Anvil coming in and bit of double team work here by the Orient Express. Into the corner. Clothesline by Jim the Anvil. Tag. In comes Owen Hart. Owen Hart going up top. And how great just to watch Owen Hart wrestle as well. Again, here we are in 2022. Enjoying... oh, look at that crossbody on both. Done quite well, actually. Didn't feel like they were standing, waiting. He just, like, quickly does the crossbody and he takes both down. Nice back kick there by Owen Hart. Goes to the cover. 2. Shoulder up. Yeah, do you know what? I didn't even realize. 30 years ago this year. How amazing is that? I didn't even realize. 30 years since 1992 Royal Rumble. So it's the anniversary. Literally like, what, yesterday or whatever? Well, I don't know technically what day it happened on, but it's there or thereabouts. Owen Hart going after the mask. And there's a kid in the front row. He's got a Legion of Doom spikes on. So he's got the red shoulder pads with the black little foam spikes. Always wanted that. There was one thing actually that came out around this time, which I never even saw as a kid, and it was a Hasbro Jake the Snake in a bag thing. So you got the bag and you got a rubber snake. It's really cool. Like if you was a kid, you'd be able to put it over your shoulder, like play wrestling, and then you'd be able to get out like the rubber snake. I never saw it. No, didn't even know it existed until probably a few years ago. Someone actually brought, I forget what their name was, but they brought one for me to look at. So they actually brought one to show me it in person so I could have a look at it. And it was really cool. It was really cool. I was really jealous. Jim on the outside. As Owen Hart is being double teamed at the moment. I wish Bad Bunny didn't let Brock eliminate him, but it's all right. I think Bunny wants to help and put over the young up-and-comers. Hopefully Bunny will get a big match at Mania that he deserves, says Harley the Troll Maharaja. Seeb said, do Lita will do anything at Mania? There could be a dream match against Sasha. We could definitely get that. That would be good. Give Sasha that instead. I'd be down. That's a good shout, that is. Do that instead. Give Sasha the Lita match. I really don't mind that. The rubber snake wouldn't bite your arm and traumatize you, though, said Dizzle Dog. No, man. That is so good, isn't it? When Macho in the ropes. Macho Man, when he was tied in the ropes and Jake actually got the snake to bite him. Apparently, Macho was really concerned that snake hadn't been devenomized. And he made Jake get bitten by the snake backstage. He was like, if you want me to be bitten by this snake, I want to see it bite you first. So they had to get the snake to bite Jake backstage. Jake was saying that apparently, and you know, this sounds bad, and it is bad, but apparently they aggravated the snake. They slapped it around a bit, worked it up to get it really angry. I mean, if you've seen the segment we're talking about, it's got to be one of the most incredible moments in the history of wrestling where Macho's tied in the ropes and the snake actually is biting him. He bites him for ages. He really bites him for a long, long time. Nice kick. Gotta say, this match is not bad. Not a bad little contest. That looked like a 3 there. It looked like a 3. Fuji with his cane on the outsides. Just gently giving Owen a couple of taps in there. But yeah, not a bad little match. And the crowd are right there into it, applauding along. Quite a few moustaches in the crowd. Looks like a load of Rick Boogs out there. Who looked amazing in yesterday's Rumble. He looked great. I think he could be a big, big star. I think he could go right to the top. I'll call it now, Rick Boogs. Am I going to say will be? I can't say will be because I don't know for certain. But I'm going to say that he stands a great chance of being WWE champion one day. Nice 2. Crucifix pin. Kick out by... I don't know, actually. I can't tell the difference between the 2 Orient Express. I don't know which one the mass one is. Owen on his feet wobbling as a lovely thrust kick. The Orient Express will be tough to derail. Rick looked good. He looked like a throwback. If you never saw yesterday's, he actually had someone up and he did a single-handed press. Like, he was pressing people with one hand. He's got, like, the body. He's got the look that Vince likes. I think when he's got his singlet on, he looks... I like him in his singlet. Don't see too many singlets. And he looks good, man. He's got such an incredible physique. I like the short hair. The short hair, the moustache, it's all different. It all gives him, it makes him stand out. His body, I love it when he does, I said yesterday, the Hillbilly Jim pose as well. Like, absolutely brilliant. And the only thing that's kind of holding him back at the moment for me is he's just so goofy with the guitar and everything. But you can easily fix that. You know, what we actually saw in the Rumble match, give me more of that. Give me more of that. Give me more of the strength. I'd love for him to be a throwback strongman, actually. Someone on Twitter said that. They were like, getting a bit of a vaudevillain vibe. It's like, I love the vaudevillains. Like, you know, proper old school, like, strongman vibe. Yeah. Give him make him feel a bit. Don't make him too gimmicky. But just give him something that he can work with. Owen Hart thrown into the corner, thrown into Fuji's cane. 1, 2, foot on the rope. I tell you what, this match is going longer than I thought. Stomping away. I don't see the same as you on Boogs. He's boring. I don't know. I mean, I just think that he looks really... He's a powerhouse. I feel like I might have seen a single arm military press, gorilla press before. I can't remember seeing it. For me, that was, in a Rumble that had very few highlights, Rick Boogs gave me a highlight in the Royal Rumble. Like, that one-handed military press I thought was so impressive. And he looks like an absolute powerhouse. So, just, if you can get him to do a few, feats of strength, show off a few feats of strength. You definitely need to change his, playing guitar. Get rid of that. Get him away from Nakamura. He doesn't need to be with Nakamura. I think if you get him away from that and do something different with him, I think you've really got something there. You've really... Just look at how he looks. His look, I mean, he can work, he can wrestle, he's got charisma. And look at how he looks as well. I mean, he should be able to talk. I can't remember hearing his promos. But I can't remember him being bad if ever I have heard them. But I think he is quite charismatic, and that's going to carry him forward as well. So I'm really high on Rick Boogs at the moment. Sultan said if Boogs is that Freddie Mercury-looking guy, then I think he's got a good chance. I liked his performance. I know I'm a casual, says Sultan. It's not a problem being a casual. Casual shouldn't be seen as a derogatory term. If you're a casual fan, it just means that you jump in, jump out every now and again. That's all it means. So, yeah, if anything, I love having some casual fans around because it's interesting to get their perspectives of who stood out to them, what really shone for them, like what grabbed their attention. And, we hear from hardcore fans all the time. Our community is very much made up of hardcore fans, so it's very interesting. So, Sultan, shout out to you, dudes. And you don't need to keep sending super chats, bud. Days Boogs has got a channel where he does powerlifting. Really impressive lifts. I didn't know that. I remember when he was Eric Bugenhausen or something. That was his name. And he used to... I remember seeing footage of him from a house show where people were going crazy for him. Because I think he used to play air guitar. So he would come out and it'd be like playing along to his entrance music and everything. People loved him. Oh, we don't see that anymore. Owen Hart just grabbed the top rope, slingshotted Jim the Anvil into the ring, and Jim the Anvil was like, whoo, straight over that top rope. That was nice. Big back body drop by Jim the Anvil. Hot tag's been made. Clothesline. It is like a bull in a china closet, says Gorilla Monsoon. Not a china shop. A china closet? What's a china closet? I don't know. Owen Hart going over the top. That was high risk back in the day. Suicide dive back in the day. People just applauding. No camera phones. No camera phones. Comes crashing down. Owen Hart gets the win. And the crowd, man, loving it. Foam Big Boss Man. Look at that. That dude's got a Bushwhacker hat on. The kid there just had a Foam Big Boss Man. You know, those kind of, these things. Don't see these anymore. Do you remember these? Too sweet. Too sweet. Yeah. These were great. You could get loads of these kinds of things. And there was a guy that just had one that was a nightstick, a Big Boss Man nightstick. And he was just there holding up this nightstick thing. But you used to be able to get these foam fingers, and I don't think they do them anymore. I never see them in the crowds. Should definitely do some. I wonder what ones of these they could do these days. There must be loads. Must be loads of things you could do with these now for, like, modern day wrestlers. Drew McIntyre's sword. A foam Drew McIntyre sword. You could have that. Oh, look at that. We're seeing the Mountie beating Bret Hart. January 1992. To be crowned the Intercontinental. Look at that. And I mean, it's very dark. Footage from a house show. I mean, this was so rare. Footage from a house show. I don't know how many people are there. Because of how dark it is, you can't tell, but we're just seeing the Mountie at the moment beating up on Bret Hart. And the hot rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper coming down. Telling the Mountie to leave Bret alone. We've got Lord Alfred Hayes as well, telling us what's happening. Look, the Mount is like, forget this. Roddy Piper checking on Bret Hart. The Mountie with the belt. Boom! Roddy Piper gets back up. Oh, man, Roddy Piper looks ripped here. Looks really good. The roof doesn't look that high. You can see the roof, so I don't think it's that big a venue. Amazing. Right, I want to make sure that I'm up to speed with Super Chats. I think we are. Boom. Right, let's go down. What stars in wrestling overall are you confident have got potential for top 5 to keep an eye on? Well, I mean, Bron Breakker, of course. Boogs, I think, has got great potential. Austin Theory. I mean, I don't think I can really tell you anything that you don't already know. I ain't sold on Ridge Holland. And I'm not sold on Ridge Holland. I think he's got a decent look. I think that his promos might be a bit of a problem. I don't know. He might float around a mid-card. But I could see, like, if we're talking champion, very top of the cards, like, you know, actually winning the big belts, I'll go Boogs, Theory, Breaker, maybe a Von Wagner, because he looks incredible, doesn't he? The only problem with Von Wagner is that his promos, if they're going to put a mouthpiece with him, and they have done that with Malcolm Bivens. No, is it Malcolm Bivens or Robert Stone? They've just put a mouthpiece with him, which I think is a really good decision. I think they've put Robert Stone with him, who does come across like a Harvey Wimpleman type character. And I really like that. I really like that. So they could, you know, like how Andrade was missing something, and then they put Zelina Vega with him. And all of a sudden, like he was up, went to the NXT title, got called up. Granted, it started to stall a bit then, But, you know, sometimes if you get a good manager with these people, it can make the world a difference. And I think Von Wagner could be that person. And obviously Gunther as well, if he is going to commit to being in WWE. I've said before, if you want someone outside of WWE, then Cara Noir. Cara Noir, the current Progress champion, is someone I'm really high on. And I still haven't seen the match, but I do think it's on the network now. So you can actually watch Gunther Volta against Cara Noir on the WWE network. In fact, that would be I should have watched that. Maybe we'll do it on a members thing or something. I don't know. Mountie versus Roddy Piper. Here we go. Austin says XY Zion Quinn. He does have a good look as well, absolutely. Pepsi Pack says bring back Jimmy Hart. The Mountie making his way down. What a great character the Mountie was. I love the Mountie. The Mountie, I mean, just such a great look. Such a different look. So, Mountie in the ring with Jimmy Hart, Intercontinental Champion. I think this might be for the IC title. Oh, here we go, look. Look at this, the rowdy one. I love that camera shot as well. The way the camera goes all the way down the entranceway and meets Roddy Piper. Like, it just goes straight the way down the entranceway, gets to Roddy Piper as he walks out. No Titantron, no screen at all. It's literally a blue curtain with the WWF logo above it. But there is music. You can hear the bagpipes playing for Roddy Piper. Dun, 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 na, 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 na. The music now is so rubbish. So rubbish. The new music that they're giving superstars. I was listening to the Rumble last night. There were so many superstars. I didn't know what their music was. I kept hearing music and I kept going, I don't know who this is. I don't know the Alpha Academy music. I don't know, like Shayna Baszler's just changed the music. They've tweaked Liv Morgan's music. And all the new music sucks. It's rubbish. I think, didn't they just get CFO $sign back? I'm sure they just brought them back. And now, I don't know if they've started working with them yet, but they used to be really good. I am not feeling whatever is happening at the moment. Roddy Piper trying to get his kilt off, and Mountie's got the shock stick, which was a bit cringe. It was a cattle prod that the Mountie had. I don't really know why. And if ever he put it next to someone, they would pipe in the fake noise, which as a kid you didn't really think about. As an adult, you go, that's lame. Jimmy Hart with the megaphone. You can hear him saying, like, respect the champion. Kicks coming in by Roddy Piper as the Mountie is down. Big strikes coming in by Hot Rod. Hot Rod unleashing himself on the Mountie. Mountie trying to get out the ring. Hot Rod dragging him back in. Against the ropes goes the Mountie. Grabs onto the rope, slides out the ring. Roddy straight round, look, big right hands. Brilliant. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported there was a lot of talent frustrated after the Rumble with how things kept changing and reshuffled throughout the day. Morale was said to be low. LSW says CFO $sign were incredible. I think Def Rebel were the producers for a few months and they were underwhelming. I'm sure I heard or someone mentioned that CFO $sign had come back. Strike to the face by Roddy Piper. So Sasha's theme is good. Sasha's theme is old though. That might be an original CFO $sign. I know they changed it and had like Snoop Dogg do the verses. Originally, it didn't have Snoop Dogg on it, but now it's got Snoop Dogg on it. But I think that's a CFO $sign original. My favourite moment for last night was Ronda returning, Seth doing the Shield entrant, and Roman and Paul reuniting. Yes. I agree. I miss Piper. He was a great promo. Days, I would say Dominic if he puts muscles and gets better at wrestling, says Edwards. I wish NXT would push Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones, I forgot about him, actually. Odyssey Jones is apparently going to be out for about, I've heard, about 6 months. Now, I don't know if that's true. If it is, that's horrific. Apparently, this is a really bad injury that he's got. So, I don't know when Odyssey Jones is going to be getting back in the ring, but he is just a ball of charisma as well, isn't he? And again, big guy, great look. Odyssey Jones is a really great shout. It's a really great shout. Apparently, WWE have got no plans for Bobby being champion and the WWE match at Mania. What are your thoughts? Don't mind. I don't know. I mean, we know that they originally wanted Seth, so it doesn't really surprise me they don't have plans, because I think all of this has been a curveball. Giving the title to Brock was a last-minute change, so the fact they've got no plans doesn't really surprise me. I suppose I'm surprised they don't have plans now, and they haven't got it sorted now, but in a way, that's quite exciting. If they don't know, then how can it get spoiled? Boom. If they don't know, then how's Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp going to find out? Back elbow by the Mountie. Mountie very much in control here as Roddy Piper is down. White socks on the referee as well. No green shirt guy. Worth pointing that out. Over the top to the outside, we've got the old original Royal Rumble logo as well, which I love. Jimmy Hart on the outside with his mouthpiece and shoulder tackle to the midsection. Slingshot over the top, rolls up Mountie. 1, 2. Kick out by the Mountie. Strikes coming in by the Mountie. Roddy Piper back up on his feet. Strikes to the midsection. Mountie hurls Roddy Piper out of the ring. Roddy Piper straight back in, biting. Seems to be biting the Mountie. Oh, good. Can you speak about Mason Greenwood news? Not really much to say, to be honest. I mean, I saw it quite quickly after it broke. I made a comment on Twitter about it. So Mason Greenwood plays for Man United. There's images of his girlfriend with like bruises and blood, and there was a statement, I think, that came out from her dad saying that her phone had been hacked and she didn't actually want those images getting out. So I don't know if those are in relation, because all of a sudden the story's just changing a little bit now. So I don't know that she wanted that to get out. I don't know that that is connected to Mason. I don't know if that's maybe not just a separate injury. I'm not making excuses for him, because let's headline, if he's guilty, he needs to be kicked out United, not play for England. He needs to be out of football. Like, justice needs to be served. So I'm absolutely not making excuses for Mason Greenwood. Hello. Roddy Piper gets the victory here. That ended quicker than I thought. Maybe because the first match went so long. He's got the shock stick. I'm going to come back to the Mason Greenwood thing. So Mountie is down. He's got the shock stick. So Mountie is down. He's unconscious. This is a real heel move, man. Roddy Piper always kind of worked that fine line, didn't he, between being like a face and a heel. The crowd want him to do it, so he's doing it. He shocks a unconscious Mountie, which is a real heel move. No! Intercontinental champion. And am I right in saying this is his only singles title run? Roddy Piper never wins the WWE Championship. So this is a really great moment. This is a really great moment. Look at that. Roddy Piper with a belt. And he goes on, of course, to WrestleMania 8 to defend it against Bret Hart in a great match. But I think this is his only title run. I can't remember if he ever gets, like, the tag belts. I don't think he does. This might be his only WWF championship. And there it is. That's how he wins it. Beats the Mountie. Submission, middle of the ring. And then shocks the Mountie after. Retribution said, didn't you hear the voice message? I doubt she was hacked. Her dad is probably lying. I don't know. All I can say is what was said. So, it came out that her phone was hacked. She didn't want those pictures to get out. I heard the voice thing, and it's very damning. It's very damning. I am someone, though, that believes that this has to be investigated. You have to be investigated, and he has to have his say. I'm not someone that will go, that's it, boom. He's done. I see people saying that on Twitter, and I strongly disagree with it. Because I just think that there's two sides to every story. We don't know what was going on. We don't know what that voice recording is of. We don't even know if it's him. Might not be him. Could be that he's been set up. Could be anything. But, I mean, it looks horrific. It looks like he's guilty. It looks like he's guilty. And again, headline, if he is, he deserves to be kicked out United, not play for England, not play football again, and dealt with the full extent of the law. No grey area there. But I'm with United and United's statement. And United's statement was, he ain't going to play for us until there's been a full investigation. And, and there's not really much more to say than that, is there? We'll have to see what comes out of that investigation. Backstage with the Bushwhackers. Oh, yeah, that dude was on... was it Primetime or like Tuesday Night Titans? Jameson? Yeah. Vince thought he was hilarious, Jameson. Yeah. That's me. Jameson. I can't remember. I think Vince saw Jameson in like a comedy club and was like, oh, I want him. He's really funny. And so he brought him in to do some stuff, and they didn't quite know how to use him. And he ended up working with the Bushwhackers. Bushwhackers are so much fun. I love the Bushwhackers. One of the most underrated. I don't know if they're in the Hall of Fame. They should definitely go in. They should definitely go in. Right, Bushwhackers, and I think it's Bushwhackers and Beverly Brothers now. Daisy, you sold on Carmelo Hayes. I think he is phenomenal. I like Carmelo Hayes. I think he's still developing. I think the only problem with Carmelo Hayes is a bit on the smaller side, and that's always a barrier when it comes to Vince. I think that he's still trying to... I find that he talks a lot and doesn't really say anything. But, I mean, you could say that exact same thing with a lot of people. But, yeah, he's definitely someone that can, go up and do some good work. I think that if they can get the right creative for him, then he could be someone that really gets somewhere. Here we go, man. Look at this crowd erupting. They love these guys. God, as a kid, I must have spent a long time doing this, And Jameson doing it. Everyone's doing it. Such a simple... Oh, you wouldn't do that, look. Goes over to a kid in the front row. And gives him a big lick on the face. Imagine that in 2021. 2022. Hey, hello, mates. Oh, I love these guys. I love them. Great tag team as well, Great tag team. They've actually had a 5-star match when they were the Sheep Herders. I think I break that fact out all the time because it's amazing that the Bushwhackers that everyone just sees as a joke were legit really good wrestlers. They were like brawlers. They were quite nasty. But obviously when they came to WWE, they just did what Vince wanted them to do, and that was that. A lot of that. A lot of that, and then a lot of licking people in the crowd, look. Gorilla Monsoon said that youngster is going to remember that for the rest of his life, and Bobby the Brain said he'll probably smell for sardines for the next 6 months. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Bushwhackers are highly underrated. The psychology of the matches is spot on for the characters. If you ever get a chance to talk to Butch, I highly recommend it. He is a fountain of knowledge, says Eve Riot Girls of Wrestling. Shout out to you, my friend. Yeah, Bushwhackers. Love the Bushwhackers. Jameson wasn't really around, like, all that long. Not a big fan of it. Well, he works with the Bushwhackers, amazingly, but... I think someone in the crowd asked Jameson, why have you got a sock in your pocket? And he's like, I blow my nose with it. I think they do a lot of sign-ins, don't they? Like, you tend to see, like, when you go to Comic Cons and whatever, like, Bushwhacker Luke, Bushwhacker Butch. Has one of them stopped doing it, or one of them sadly passed away or something? Because I only ever tend to see one. It's always like, come and meet Bushwhacker Butch. Do you know what I mean? Not the Bushwhackers. I'm just having a look now. From New Zealand. I think they're both still with us by the looks of it. Williams came out of retirement 2007. He worked for Ring of Honor. He still wrestles at the age of 74. What? In 2015, it was announced the Bushwhackers would go into the Hall of Fame, so they are both in. They both attended to accept their induction, so they went in at the Hall of Fame in 2015. That's WrestleMania 31. I don't remember the Bushwhackers at WrestleMania 31. Because they always have them like, dun, 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 dun. They're always on the stage. I don't remember the Bushwhackers. I'd have to go back and look at it. Hey. They just feel like your friends, don't they? Like, it kind of feels like if you went to the wrestling and you saw the Bushwhackers, you could quite comfortably go up to them and just go, hey, how you doing? They'd be like, hello, mate. Way, and you'd be like, yeah. Oh, this is so good. With some wrestlers, like, they're quite big, quite intimidating. You'd be like, oh, I don't know if I want to go over. With the Bushwhackers, the only thing that would stop you, you'd be like, I don't want them to lick my face. I really don't want them to lick my face. Please don't lick my face. That's the only thing that you'd be thinking now. I doubt they do it now, do they? I don't want a 74-year-old man licking my face. I don't. I'm not even going to make a joke about it. I really don't. Delwyn, shout out to you, dude. Evening Days, I wasn't able to watch the Rumble last night because I was working. Really annoyed, but I've watched it this afternoon. The pay-per-view was a really good show. I enjoyed it. Delwyn, shout out to you, dude. Really appreciate the support. I'm really... glad you enjoyed it. It seemed to kind of divide opinion last night. Some people seem to really like it. Some people seem to really be against it. I saw people scoring it like a 2 or a 3 or something like that. Get thrown into each other. Bushwhackers going against the ropes, clothesline, and the Beverly brothers go down. Oh, and I loved it when they used to go round in the circle. It's the simple stuff, man. They clear the ring, and they go around. Jameson is in the corner, cowering as Genius comes over. The Genius, of course, Macho Man's brother, leaping Lanny Poffo. And back in the ring. Von Wagner's dad on screen? Yes. Yes. Von Wagner, the son of, is it Bo Beverly? So one of the Beverly brothers is actually the dad, the father of Von Wagner. Yeah, you're right. Sultan said, which UFC fighter has got the best chance in WWE? Which UFC fighter has the best chance in WWE? I would go with... I'll tell you what comes to mind first. Conor, Masvidal, Colby Covington. Like, you just naturally think of the big promos. I mean, Conor wouldn't be able to swear. So, but he's such a massive name. Like, it'd be huge. Colby Covington, a real big character. The only thing with Colby Covington is he tends to, like, be, like, pro-Trump and Republican. And he keeps coming up against a lot of Democrats, if you will. And, like, that's where there's a bit of heat, a bit of friction. Like, he'll talk about how great Trump is, and a load of people will boo him. We're not getting political. I don't care what your political beliefs are. All I'm going to say is, in WWE, I don't think he'd receive as many boos. Because we know that Linda was a part of the Trump administration. We know that Vince is a Republican. We know there's quite a lot in WWE that are pro-Trump, like Republicans. So if he goes out there in this pro kind of Trump kind of stuff, I don't think he would get the same. So I don't know how he would do. He's a great talker though. And like the thing is, skills wise, I think as long as you've got decent striking and you can lay in good takedowns or something. Really, if you've got, I suppose in a way, if you've got good judo, that's a massive thing to have, because with Hook, for example, he's got really lovely looking shots and those snap takedowns. And honestly, that's most of what he does. He's got the great suplexes, which his dad has obviously taught him. But I think as long as you've got good striking and you've got good throws, I really think that's a large part of the battle won. I mean, he comes down, he's very focused, he's clearly knows what his character is, Hook, and he's very focused on what he's got to do. He gets into the ring, goes over to the corner, gets himself composed, he's got a great body, and then boom, you know, the bell sounds and he throws in his shots. He's got good strength to him as well. Snaps those takedowns, those hip tosses, just really throws it in with intensity. That mixed with his good striking, as we said, you know, he's got people right there. Anything else he can add then, like those suplexes and the submission moves, which UFC fighters should have anyway, I think is most of the battle won. So I think that if you've got, this is why I think it's relatively comfortable for UFC fighters to transition across, but not always a given. Some people just don't get it. I think you've kind of got to be a fan of it to maybe get it. You know, Ronda was a fan. Brock was obviously in it anyway. But I think you've got to know the pro wrestling world and the sports entertainment world to really be able to transition across. But if you can do that, then there's so much that crosses over. As we said, the judo throws, the striking, the groundwork, the submissions, the grappling. I mean, just wrestling is a big part of UFC. So it really transitions beautifully. So yeah, I mean, for me, if it comes to WWE, you would think the big name, the big promos. Who's great at promos? Who are your best promos? And for me, that'd be like a Colby, a Masvidal, a Conor. Those would be the three that come to mind. I'm sure I've got Bushwhacker figures in the attic. I've got some down there. Yeah, I've got my old Hasbros. They did, I think, didn't they do two different kinds? They did the grey kind, and then they did the kind of more sandy colour. And I've got the Mattel ones as well. The grey, and I think they did like sandy ones as well. Grey that Bushwhackers are wrestling in at the moment. Never got Beverly Brothers, though. I don't know what's gone wrong there, but we never got Beverly Brothers Hasbros. I don't ever remember seeing Beverly Brother Hasbros, and we've never had Beverly Brothers Mattel. I think we might have got some Beverly Brothers for Jax, but I think that was more when it was the Wild West and you could just make whatever you wanted. I don't think like merch deals and stuff like that really counted. 2 count only clothesline. Trying to get in there. Good tag team work. Beverly Brothers were a really good tag team, really underrated. Crashing down on the small of the back. Nice to see Retro Watch-Alongs back. I'm a little bit late because I was at my grandma's. Well, you haven't missed the big bit. We're talking about what the best Rumble is. For me, I love the 92 Rumble. But as you said, this undercard's a little bit underwhelming. Just seeing his shoes. One of his shoes is taped up Jameson. Against the ropes, head down, knee strike. Little bit of a miscommunication there. Don't forget the Royal Rumble, as we said at the very start, is for the WWF Championship. Nice little tag. Elbow drop. Does it ever annoy you when people call wrestling fake? No. No, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Did it bother me when I was young? I don't think it's ever bothered me. It's never bothered me. But I think when someone says wrestling is fake, you always know that they're not saying that to engage in a constructive conversation, or rarely are they saying it to engage in a constructive conversation. They're normally doing it to, cause trouble. They're normally doing it to put wrestling down. Oh, that's just fake. Wrestling's fake. Like, they're not trying to have... I don't know if someone could go, isn't wrestling all fake? Like, I don't know, maybe someone could have an interesting conversation. I suppose it depends how it's being said. If someone was to come up to me and go, I don't really understand wrestling, isn't it all fake? Like, if someone was doing that and they genuinely wanted to have a conversation, great. I welcome that. But if someone was to come up to me and be like, oh, it's just fake, wrestling's just fake, them saying that doesn't bother me. What would bother me more is the fact of, they're doing it not to be constructive or engage in any kind of good dialogue. They're not trying to, understand what wrestling fans get from it. They're just trying to be idiots. And that's, in all fairness, if you've got someone that does that, that's on them, isn't it? It's on them for not getting it more so than you for getting it. I should imagine that's the same in a lot of things, though. I mean, if you listen to jazz, you probably get a lot of people going, oh, you like jazz? Like, I should imagine there's, a lot of people that kind of look down on, oh, jazz. You like jazz? I don't like jazz. You like jazz? But there's people that get jazz. There's people that really enjoy jazz. And actually, if you get into the jazz world, it's very interesting. How, they try to break the rules and really just create things that are, when it comes to jazz is music that's kind of being coloured outside the lines. It's not, it's not like they're trying to perform music to a certain order. They're trying to go off and express themselves outside of music, if you will. So if you understand jazz, it's very interesting. If you don't, then I could understand it being the same, where people are like... So, moral of the story is it's not just wrestling that suffers from that. There's lots of other things. World cinema. Things with subtitles, stuff like that. I'd imagine that... It's like me with superhero films. You like superhero films? Going Go said Israel would be good in WWE. Very charismatic. Do you agree? Yeah, definitely. He's got a good size to him. Very credible. Champion. Good talker. charismatic. Yeah. He could work. I think quite a few could cross over. The only ones that you could see not really working out so well would be the ones that are just very quiet. You know, they get like an opportunity to talk post-fight or talk at the press conferences, and they're just like, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Who are you going to challenge if you win? I haven't really thought about it yet. I'm just hoping for a good result this weekend. Like those people, you go, oh, Jesus. God must have skipped them when he was giving out personalities. Double axe handle to the back. Days, who is your favourite wrestler from this era? I love British Bulldog. I love Ultimate Warrior. I love British Bulldog. Those would be the two. So when I was young, I would be watching this, and I loved all the characters. You know, Beverly Brothers have just got the victory in this one. But, yeah, when it comes to the Rumble, I would be rooting for British Bulldog or the Ultimate Warrior. Those would be my picks. Bushwhackers attacking the Beverly Brothers from behind. Double back elbow. The battering ram. There's the genius on the, again, slingshot into the ring. You don't see that anymore. We saw it in the first match with the new foundation. Jameson's going to go in there. Jameson's going to go in. That was, do you know what? Jameson just looked at a woman in the crowd. She had a big smile on his face, and she was like, she nodded as if to say, go on, Jameson. No, he's winding one up. He's winding one up. He's winding one up. Butcher's like in the stomach. Jameson. And he delivers a kick. So he winds it up. And he kicks him in the backside. Genius goes out the ring. Vince loved all this stuff. He's like a big kid, Jameson. I don't know if you'd get away with it now. And they're licking him. Gotta wind it up. Winding it up. Oh. It kind of reminds you of like a kid at school. Do you know what I mean? Like a kid at school has never thrown a punch in his life. It's like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And when you bite your tongue. Yeah, he's trying to get his shoes back on. Well, Legion of Doom, Tag Team Champs. Sultan said, when I used to watch WWE, my favourites were Tensai, Brodus Clay, and Hornswoggle. Yeah, they were fun. They were fun. Somebody call your mama. Great to see Cameron back. The greatest tag team. In fact, this I think is the last match on the undercard. Lots of tag matches on this undercard. We did get an Intercontinental match, and this is going to be the tag team match, and then the WWE Championship's in the Rumble, so what you going to do? Oh, look at Hawk. No one cuts promos like this now. Everyone's doing silly stuff now. I wish the Viking Raiders were serious. I wish the Viking Raiders came across like Legion of Doom. Oh, look at this. LOD against the natural disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon. Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. Can't think of anything more iconic than this poster. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it probably is. The rest of the first, I'm thinking the one that came to mind as well was the first WrestleMania that's all black with like Hogan and Mr. T. I love that. I mean, it's such a retro throwback poster, but this is cooler, isn't it? Because of the amount of superstars that are on it. So I think you are right. I think this probably is the coolest poster of all time. Whoa, what a rush. Tell you what, that kid in the front row with the fake shoulder pads is about to explode as his heroes are making their way down. Hawk and Animal. So over. So over. Just don't get responses like that for tag teams anymore. People, you just don't get that kind of reaction. Sultan said, who's a wrestler you thought had good potential but was messed over? Well, probably recently Karrion. I mean, you looked at Karrion Kross and you thought, man, he's going to get somewhere. As a kid, Ludwig Borger. I probably looked at Ludwig Borger the way a lot of people looked at an early... I probably looked at Ludwig Borger the way we look at Bron Breakker now. Like, I really thought Ludwig Borger was going to be a problem. If you don't remember Ludwig Borger, in the 90s, he was, I think, from Finland. He had, like, the blonde shaved head. And he wasn't jacked because it was in 93, which is that kind of gotta be careful, need to be natural kind of period. So, you know, had it been a few years earlier, I'm sure there would have been some steroids in Ludwig Borger, and I'm sure he would have been huge. Here, he looked big. He just naturally looked big. It would be like Warlord. Imagine Warlord not on steroids. Like, if Warlord wasn't as, like, you know, jacked as what he was just more natural. I remember Ludwig Borger being like that. And I remember thinking, this guy's going to be a problem. He was a heel. I didn't like him. And I was like, he's going to be a problem. Even as a kid, I was like, he's a problem. And fun fact, he wasn't a problem. He didn't stick around very long. He didn't stick around. I don't know what. I think it was pay or something that he wasn't happy with. And I've got a feeling he was meant to be at WrestleMania 10. And then they had to change it last minute. And he was gone. That was it. It was done then. And I think it was pay. He just wasn't happy with his pay. So, Ludwig Borger. Oh, there's been loads. Over the years, there's been loads and loads and loads. Loads of people. I mean, like, I think I probably thought that Taz was going to be bigger than really what he went on when he first came in. They made such a big deal out of Taz. Thought that he was going to be a monster. Never quite worked out in WWE. Kick to the back. We are underway with this. How long? We're over an hour into this. Why did Road Warriors change their name to Legion of Doom? It's WWE wanting to own in it, I believe. So, like, I think WWE wanted to... this is one of the early examples of them wanting to own the names. You know, like how they changed names now. Like, they changed, you know, names back then. And so Road Warriors came in. They were known as the Road Warriors. Vince also had this thing where he wanted to try and distance himself from wrestling. He didn't like wrestling. And I say it that way on purpose because that was kind of how it was said in the South. You know, you're coming down to the wrestling. And he didn't want that. He didn't like Southern. It was against, like, what they were doing in the South. He wanted it to be presented a completely different way. So I think, you know, part of it would be that he wanted to trademark and own the Legion of Doom name, and he wanted, you know, as he does now, to own that. But also I think that because they were so big in the South, amazingly, he might have wanted to have actually distanced them from that and actually present them as not the Road Warriors, but the Legion of Doom. because he just hated anything to do with wrestling. And Jim Ross has spoken a lot on that subject on his podcast. Against the ropes, duck underneath, how it was quite hard to convince Vince of, doing, watching something that was happening in the South, or looking at someone that was from the South. He'd bring people in, because obviously it was still a hotbed of talent, but he just didn't want nothing to do with how it was being presented. He hated it. Earthquake crashing down on Animal. Animal getting a shoulder up. We've got the Rumble coming up. Ludwig's not with us anymore. Is he not? I didn't know he'd passed away. Let's have a look. Ludwig Borger. 2010, yeah. Born in Helsinki, Finland, and died in Finland. I don't know what he went on to do, actually. He was in WWE. Let's have a look. He was in New Japan. I didn't know he was in New Japan either. He was in New Japan from 1990 to 93. I didn't know that. 93 to 94 WWF. 95 to 97 Catch Wrestling Association. Don't know who that is. Borger held their main title. Euro Catch. That must have been something in, like, Europe. Catch Wrestling Association. So, it says that he injured his ankle, forced WWE to cancel plans, and he left the company soon after. And he had an MMA career as well. Dave's my best friend. I like Seth Rollins' wrench. That was amazing, yes. I need to jump in the chat a bit, don't I, here? Sultan, amazing. Yeah, I love these streams because we do find stuff out like that. I did a bit of research for this stream as well. Found out a few facts about the Royal Rumble. I always like to drop in a few facts. Haven't used any up to this point. Anything I've said is just stuff off the top of my head. But found out that, like, Marty Jannetty was meant to be in the Rumble. And also, one of the Nasty Boys was meant to be in the Rumble. He isn't. He's actually replaced by Haku, right? And apparently he's not in the Rumble because he was stabbed. He got stabbed. I didn't know about this. One of the Nasty Boys was stabbed before the Rumble. Apparently a group of guys followed them and stabbed one of them. And as a result, he wasn't in the Rumble. Obviously, he was all right after. But, yeah, apparently Haku is in the Rumble later in a bit. And he hadn't been in WWE for quite a while. Haku hadn't been in WWE since summer of 1991. So about 6 months since we had last seen Haku. But they have to get him in this Rumble because one of the Nasty Boys was stabbed. Marty Jannetty isn't in the Rumble. I think he is replaced by Nikolai Volkov, which I thought was very interesting. The other thing that I saw was that Bret Hart was talking with WCW at this time. What a lot of people don't know is that WCW were actually in contract talking to try and get Bret now in 92. He does have a little think about it, but he's pretty sure he's going to stay with WWF, and of course he does. But then they obviously come back and get in touch with him again in 97. And I'd imagine they probably get in touch with him again, like, before then. Like, apparently they're in touch with him quite a bit, so. Earthquake walking all over Hawk. That's a lot of weight as well to have on your body. Daniel said, Jade Cargill recently, after the Ruby Soho match, said she started training with Deeb and Danielson. And recently a lot of people have been praising her recent matches, and it would make sense now as to why. Johnny said, I know you said you're not going to collect AEW figures, but will you get the Owen Hart figure? No. Edward said, Days, apparently Ronda will be at WrestleMania 39 against Becky. What are your thoughts? I think makes sense. I think you've got to do Ronda Becky. I mean, that is the match that a lot of people would expect for this year. And it looks like we're getting her Charlotte, of course. So it's not really a surprise to me that they've got plans to do her and Becky. I suppose the only surprise is that we're going to have to wait till WrestleMania 39, but who knows? I'm sure there'll be build. There might even be the odd match before it. That could be the blow-off. I don't know what story they're going to tell, but that is the match they have to do. They have to do Ronda and Becky. And I think over the next 12 months, you might see them just kind of crossing paths, little looks at each other, little comments. Just, I think what they can do now, what I really like about it is they've got, how long? 16 months or so to build to that match and make it feel like one of the biggest matches in the history of WWE. I mean, that could be the biggest match in... I think Becky versus Ronda, to me, really stands a great chance of being like Hogan Andre. Sounds crazy, but I just think you're talking about two of the biggest female talents of all time. In a way, I mean, like Charlotte, Ronda, Becky, you would say should be bigger. But I always think triple threats take away, not adds. I've said before, I'm not a big fan of triple threats. And that match just didn't go that great. The chemistry just wasn't really there. Count out. Days, Ludwig Borger faced Randy Couture in UFC. It was Randy's first ever pro fight. Do you know, it's weird. It's weird. I can't remember seeing that match. I can't remember seeing it. I need to go back and have a look at it. For whatever reason, cannot recall it. I'll quite happily hold my hands up and say I just cannot recall that fight. So I'm definitely at some point going to go back and watch that fight. I'm really, really interested in watching it. I've got Fight Pass, so I mean I can call it up at any time. But I just cannot recall it. Jimmy Hart on the outside of the ring. So, Count Out and Legion of Doom have retained the title. So, just a recap of the undercards. We saw the Orient Express taking on the New Foundation. That was the first match, and it went quite a while, actually. I don't know if it was meant to go that long, but it went quite a while. We're in New York, by the way, as well. Actually went for 17 minutes, that first match. New Foundation victorious, beating the Orient Express. Then we had the singles match for the Intercontinental Championship. We've got a new champion. That was only 5 minutes long. But Roddy Piper beating the Mountie by submission, winning his first and, I believe, only singles title in WWE, which is amazing. Then we had Beverly Brothers beating the Bushwackers. That was 14 minutes. Too long. Didn't need to be that long. But Beverly Brothers Bushwackers. And we just got the Natural Disasters beating the Legion of Doom, but it was by count out. 9 minutes 24. And that was for the WWF Tag Team Championship. So they're beaten by count out. And that means that the titles don't change hands. Right, we got Jimmy Hart backstage, very upset, saying he's going to call his lawyer. Look at that old school locker room. Look at the locker room. Look how tiny the lockers are as well. What are you meant to get in them lockers? What the hell do you get in those lockers? That locker room looks really, really nice. Imagine if that was a fake locker room. It might be. I don't think it could be. But imagine if that was a fake locker room that they just kind of took around with them as a backstage area. They should do that. Why don't they make a fake backstage locker room? I really like that locker room as well. It looks like what you would kind of imagine a locker room to be. But the lockers, for those not watching, are like this thin. You couldn't even fit into them sideways. If we get our hands on you again, we will be the champions. Earthquake very upset. There's Gorilla and Bobby sat at the commentary table well away from ringside. Nowhere near ringside. I actually prefer them sitting far away rather than being right there next to the ring. It'd be good if we went back to that. There's Roddy Piper celebrating. So right now we're working our way towards the Rumble match. The Rumble match is on for around about an hour once it gets going, and that'll see us through to the end of today's stream. The whole point in watching this was what's about to happen, in all fairness. I've ever told you the story about a ball python snake tried to eat me by squishing me. I don't believe so. I can't remember hearing that story before. Roddy Piper, very happy, very excited at the fact that he is the new Intercontinental Champion. Mean Gene backstage. Folks, it is exciting. Something with Sean Mooney. We're going to Sean Mooney back in that locker room area. Oh, look, we're seeing some people walking around in the background. Berserker. Just bumped into Sean Mooney, who again has got a suit on. Shawn Michaels, look at this. Heartbreak Kid. Oh, wow. Yeah. He's only just broken up with Marty here. 1 week ago. This is just a week after the barbershop. Wow. It was such an iconic moment. No Marty Jannetty. He was meant to be in the Rumble, but he's not. Such an iconic moment. When it comes to tag teams breaking up, this might be number one. Might be number one. This or the Shield. Straight through the barbershop window. I wonder if Mattel have ever made a Royal Rumble 92 Shawn Michaels, because this must be his first post-Rockers attire. I need to look into that. Now everyone will find out what Shawn Michaels has known all along. I'm the hottest thing the World Wrestling Federation has ever seen. Black shades. White jacket. It's got a black heart. Here we go. Right, we're in the corridor with Lord Alfred Hayes and Ric Flair. Lord Alfred, I drew number 3. He's actually giving away the number that he's got. Lord Alfred, I drew number 3. Black robe, Ric Flair. Such an iconic look. That means I'm going to be in there close to an hour. It makes no difference. So good, isn't it? WWE is coming to my hometown on Saturday. I'm going to go to the arena super early and see if I can meet someone. Dortnight said the barbershop kick was probably a top 10 moment. Sticks with me forever. That night is Shawn Michaels was an F-boy of his time. Alfred Hayes, legend. Legend. Days, we could be getting both Ronda, Becky, the biggest women's match in wrestling history, and Roman Rock, arguably the biggest match in wrestling history at WrestleMania 39 next year. Amazing. I believe Mattel did make that HBK. Well, do you know what? I do have some HBKs, and I must admit, I don't quite know what they're from or where they're from. So it has got me now. I'm scanning to see if I can see them. It has got me now thinking about, is one of them from that Royal Rumble? I'll grab one. This Macho Man, I don't think we've ever had. That's a nice Macho Man. That's the closest that you. That's the closest that you can get to it. I mean, that could be it. But I think it was a black heart, not a red heart. But it's a white jacket, and I don't think it had this collar. So I think it's quite close to this. Shades were black. They weren't like silver and black. So it's still not this one. On the back there, look, I'm too sexy for this crowd. I'm too sexy for this crowd. Too sexy for this crowd. It's a great looking figure though, isn't it? Lots of little details on that. Looks quite nice. It's good figure. I really love this figure. That's a really cool one. I think what I would love to start getting is just really focusing on this era. Repo Man! Come here. Come here. I love taking some. Repo Man. It just never quite worked, did it? It's a fun little gimmick for someone, but I think for Smash of Demolition, he deserved better. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. There's Davey. That's not your hometown. Last time I was in somewhere like this was at the Royal Albert Hall in London, England, in my hometown. Said the British Bulldog, who's from Leeds. Oh, look at them arms, man. Oh, Jake. Now we're hearing from Jake. This is just flipping who's who. I can't wait for this Rumble. I can't wait for this. I've never been to Fancy Dress, but watching this tonight, I've got the urge to go as so many different wrestlers. Yes. Yes. So dark, isn't he? I'll save some for you. Mr. Perfect. I don't think we've ever had a Mr. Perfect in that kind of tracksuit either. We have had Ric Flair in a black robe, though. It's so iconic. But Mr. Perfect in a tracksuit. So the whole premise of this, Ric Flair's come in, and at Survivor Series, Hulk Hogan was the champion. He lost the title to Undertaker because Ric Flair came down, put a chair in the ring, and Undertaker tombstoned Hulk Hogan onto the chair. A few days later, they have a rematch at this Tuesday in Texas. That all breaks down as well. There's lots of cheating and stuff that's going on. So Jack Tunney says, I've had enough of this. What we're going to do is we're going to put the title on the line at the Royal Rumble. Oh, yes! Look at him. 29 caskets. Mass carnage. Oh. In the grey as well. The grey-gloved Undertaker. Hogan. Apparently, there was quite a few boos for Hogan. People were over Hogan at this point. So, I don't know if it's going to come across or if they have actually edited it, but apparently a lot of boos for Hulk Hogan when it gets to the end of this one. Need to keep an ear out for that. Have a good day. Had a good day. Saw Canada, USA. Canada won 2-0. Saw Pulisic play, though. Did they really? I didn't even hear about that. Damn it. I would have totally done that game. I would have totally done that game if I'd have known it was on. Damn it. I would have done that game. We have so many USA people in the USA. I think doing a USA football watch-along would have been brilliant. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I think Balor has luxury in his contract. He's in Ireland right now with his wife. There's no plans for him. Instead of being in catering, Vince gives him time to go and be happy. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. It is now time. When do you think RK Bro will break up? I thought they would have a match at Mania. Yeah, I did as well. Oh my goodness. Bobby is nervous on commentary. This is the big one. WWF Championship on the line. I remember watching this. I was just like, please, British Bulldog, please. Give it to Davey. Give it Davey. So, the Fink just going through the rules. Undisputed World Wrestling Champion. So here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. Gives me a great deal of pleasure. Jack Tunney? Jack Tunney actually getting in the ring? Jack Tunney used to be a promoter in Canada. And legit, I thought he owned WWE. That man in the ring right now, I thought he owned WWE. Totally believed it. Didn't have any reason to disbelieve it. So we're seeing a sign for Mr. Perfect. Just looking at some of the signs that are in the crowd. There's not many. For the best belt as well, the Winged Eagle. He's got the Winged Eagle in his hands. So Jack Tunney has got the... shame he didn't show the belt. Would have been nice if he had shown the belt there. I'll let him off. Let's get ready to rumble. I quite fancy one of them Bushwhacker hats, you know. Davey boy. Davey boy at one. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The British Bulldog, Davey Boy, coming down. He's got the Union flag over his shoulders. Look, Davey Boy fan there. Fairness, she's got like Princess Diana hair, that woman. Bit of a perm. Dun, 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 dun. Rule Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. Rule Britannia. Oh, Ted DiBiase at 2. $1 million man with... Look at Sensational Sherry. Cheers. She ain't leaving much to the imagination, is she? Sensational Sherry. Super underrated Sherry. Just keep saying that about so many people, but you want to talk about like important women in the history of WWE, she's right up there. She was a wrestler, former WWF champion at one point, but what she did as a valet, as a manager, it's just she was brilliant. Anyone she was with felt bigger, felt like more important. So, I like her being with $1 Million Man. I think her being with $1 Million Man is a really good fit. Really good fit. I don't know if she stays at ringside or not. Clothesline, Davey Boy goes down. So, we are up and running with the 1992 Royal Rumble. Davey Boy at 1. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase at 2. Ted DiBiase, of course, we saw quite recently in NXT with Cameron Grimes. To the moon. Ain't gonna be seeing Davey Boy, though. Sadly, Davey passed away. $1 Million Man, a really, really... Look at the strength of the $1 Million Man. That's a lovely little snap suplex. It's not something you really associate with Ted DiBiase as his strength. But that's really good. AG said, do you think do a watch-along for the AFCON semis or final? Yes, final, I've said we'll definitely do. Clothesline! Over the top rope. Come on, Davey! Big clothesline by Davey. And he's like, come on. Who's going to be number 3? DB, oh, we know who's number 3. It's Ric Flair. He's already told us. So, Davey, can you put the names instead of the comments? Yeah. I can do that. I just don't know if I can see the comments. Ric Flair making his way down. Ric Flair. So we already knew Ric Flair was number 3. So Ric Flair making his I can do that. I've got the comments on the screen now. Bang. Bang. There we go. That was the men's from 2022. Which was, I think, unanimously panned. Bulldog. $1 Million Man. Ric Flair. I mean, look at that. I mean, already 3 people have been in, and it's a who's who. Ric Flair in at 3. $1 Million Man was a tremendous wrestler, and Bulldog was awesome. Gorilla Press. Look. Oh, who does he think he is? Rick Boogs. Bang. Slams him down. Great work by Davey. I love this ring attire by Ric Flair as well. Like black trunks. Just, it's really striking. I really like it. It's just black trunks, black knee pads, which he always had down around his... didn't really ever have it on his knees. Strike coming in. Black boots with a bit of red on. Obviously, Davey has got the Union flag on his tights with Bulldog written down the side. Against ropes. Nice duck underneath. Clothesline. Ric Flair goes down. No! Ric Flair on his knees. Classic Ric Flair. No! 5, 4, 3, 2. Ric Flair in a bit of trouble. 1. Next person down. It's a nasty boy. It's one of the nasty boys. Now, both nasty boys were meant to be in this. I think Sags. So, Sags making his way down. Even back in 92, they had stupid halves of tag teams being in it. But it's Sags that's making his way down to the ring. We haven't seen the Nasty Boys tonight. I would switch Sags. Sags is someone I would take out of this Rumble. But I would have Bulldog, $1 Million Man, Ric Flair. So 3 of 4 that we've had so far, I would have in like a dream Royal Rumble. Definitely Davey. I love Davey. Ric Flair. How do you not have Ric Flair? Sags you would lose. And then maybe $1 Million Man you would lose. But he is a legend. Strike coming in and Davey goes down. And certainly around this era as well. This is not far removed from like... It's about what? 4 or 5 years after... Maybe not even that. About 4 years after the whole Andre and... $1 Million Man trying to buy the title, all that kind of stuff. Sags over the top, tries to hang on. Oh, he survives. I didn't expect Sags to survive. He gets up, starts talking to the crowd. Drop kick by Davey, and Sags is eliminated. Davey again pointing over at Ric Flair. Ric Flair's like, oh my God, no. He don't want none. He don't want none. Davey going over to Ric Flair, trying to grab a hold of Ric Flair, seeing if he can get him out. Big chop coming in by Ric Flair. I don't think we ever saw Ric Flair versus Davey Boy, so the Rumble does give you little moments like this. Big power slam. Boom. Huge. And here, Haku. Now, Haku, again, wasn't meant to be in this. I think this is a replacement for Knobs, who, as we said, got stabbed. So that was probably going to be the Nasty Boys potentially coming out together at 4 and 5. So Haku, we hadn't actually seen Haku for about 6 months here. I like his tights. Haku with some quite nice tights. Haku, the father of Gorillas of Destiny over in New Japan. And he's done some work over in New Japan, of course, Haku. There's a few people that were hoping Haku was going to be in the 2022 Royal Rumble. Haku would have got a nice little reaction if he'd have come out. So far, I mean, you could have had $1 Million Man maybe in the Rumble this year. Ric Flair, that would have been nice. Imagine if Ric Flair had come down in a robe. Imagine if Ric Flair had come down at the Royal Rumble in a robe. Like, proper looking like Ric Flair of old. That would have been nice. That would have been really nice. Yes, he's old, but it still would have been nice. Did you know Ivory, who was in the Rumble last night, was 60? Did you know that? I didn't know that. No wonder she only spent like 50 seconds in the match or whatever. 60! You can get away with it in the Rumble, because you haven't really got to do much, have you? So you can get away with it. Thrust kick by Haku. Haku going over to Ric Flair. Chop coming in. Ric Flair in the corner. Headbutt. Ric Flair going back in the corner. Kick to the midsection. And again by Haku. Back elbow by Haku. Davey coming out. Davey and Haku going at it as we're counting down again. Number 6 about to make the way down. Haku over the top, eliminated. Haku is gone as number 6 comes down. Shawn Michaels. I don't think he's got any music. No music. I don't know if they've been getting music or not, actually. But Shawn Michaels making his way down. And do you know what? Is actually, look at his tights. Shawn's tights are white. It's like that, but you know where the red is? That's white. So it's white shorts, white tights, and then he's got like white and black patches rather than red and black. So this, as we said, is only a week after the barbershop. Oh, again, look, show of strength by Davey Boy. Clothesline. Going for clothesline. Shawn Michaels holds on. Wow, Michaels in. Thrust kick. Davey goes down. I thought he'd got him then. I really thought he'd managed to get him. Got a little bit of a wobble. Okay, I think, are we all right? We might be lagging a little bit. I think we're back. We got Shawn over in the corner with Ric Flair. Grabbing out at Ric Flair's eyes. Couple of shots coming in. And again. I think there was maybe a little lag, but it seems to have gone. Davey Boy back in the corner. Shawn Michaels reverse. Goes hard into the ring post. Up on the top. Kick to the midsection. Bounces on the top rope. Oh, into the ring goes Shawn Michaels. Davey looks out to the crowds. Crowd cheering away as double axe handle to the back by Ric Flair. So we got Shawn Michaels in there. We've got Ric Flair in there. We got the British Bulldog in there. Shawn gets thrown over the top, but he hangs on. Tito Santana making his way down. Santana, the very first person to appear at WrestleMania. Tito Santana. So Tito Santana making his way down. El Matador. Trying to get Ric Flair up over the top to the outside. Strike coming in. He'd been around for a little while at this point, Tito Santana, and in fact, I don't feel like he can be around too much longer. I don't remember Tito in '93, so I'm not sure what his last pay-per-view is, but Ronda's interview after the Rumble, you need to watch it. I've seen it, Edward. Am I imagining, or was there any music for Sean, or did no one have any? Though I didn't hear any music. In fairness, I haven't heard any music for any of them that have come out. Davey's got Sean in trouble over on the far side of the ring, but he can't quite get him out. Sean survives. Sean has low blow by Ric Flair. The story of Sean at the moment is just how much he's been able to hang on and survive. Bobby Heenan says, do you know what's at stake? A man will do anything. I would do that to my grandmother if I had to. Bobby Heenan is on fire on this commentary. Against the ropes goes Santana. So Ric Flair with the low blow. Bobby Heenan defending it, saying he would do that to his grandmother if he had to. 5, 4, here we go. Number 8 about to make their way down. Who is it? The Barbarian making his way. He was always big. He was always big and very underrated, Barbarian. We've said that about a lot of people. But I do think they could have booked Barbarian a little better. Barbarian is one of those guys that's like, he's really big and there's not really much more to him. They have to give him like a really thick gimmick to like really get him over with people, but I always felt you could have got more out of Barbarian. Ric Flair coming over is trying to throw in some shots to the side of Davey Boy as Barbarian is trying to get Davey Boy out. Look, Ric Flair working with Barbarian. Davey is holding on. He's kind of wrapping himself around that top rope. British Bulldog at the moment. He's got his leg kind of tucked in and he's in a very precarious position as Barbarian is throwing some shots to the midsection. Shawn Michaels, who I'm very interested in that ring attire. Going over, kick to the midsection of Tito Santana as Ric Flair comes racing over. Big chop to Tito. There's about 17,000 in attendance. Shawn just kind of sat on the top rope, standing, looking for a double axe handle to someone maybe. Shawn watching, there's no one to go for. He jumps back down again. And collar and elbow tie up with Tito Santana. Again, backing over by the ropes. Oh, in trouble! Tito has got Shawn. Shawn just keeps surviving. Just keeps surviving. Got the countdown again. Number 9. About to make their way down. 3, 2, 1. And it is... the Texas Tornado! Kerry Von Erich! You'll hear a lot about the Von Erichs. And, the Texas Tornado. Oh, man. Texas Tornado making his way down. Oh, that is cool. Texas Tornado making his way down to the ring. He was one of the Von Erich. Oh, Ric Flair doing that walk forward. Falls down. As Tornado, big strike coming in. And again, big shot. Shawn Michaels goes down. Been a while since we had an elimination. But the Von Erichs were massive down in Texas. And didn't think that they were going to ever go to somewhere like WWE. But their territory was kind of failing and, needed to make a bit of money. And he ended up getting a big offer, Kerry Von Erich, by WWF. So he goes, they repackage him as the Texas Tornado. Amazing to think that, I believe at this time, his foot is amputated. His foot is amputated. So, like, he didn't quite have the balance or anything. He couldn't quite do what he could do down in Texas. He never told anyone, apparently. He thought if people found out that he'd had to have his foot amputated, that they wouldn't let him wrestle. It's not his leg, it's just his foot. And I'm sure whilst he was in WWF, or just before WWF, I think it was a car crash. I'm really having to pull this out of my memory. But, yeah, Kerry was never quite reached the heights. I mean, great mid-carder still, though. Repo man. Repo. I would say so far about half of these I would have in like a dream rumble. Repo Man making his way down to the ring. Sneaking his way down. Do you think anyone's been thrown out who was meant to win it with Flair winning title counts needs to play it safe? I don't think anyone's been thrown out that was meant to win it. I've never heard of that. But we know people have been eliminated that before they were meant to, like Kofi last night. So Kofi was eliminated last night before he was meant to be. And apparently there was some spots later in the show that were planned between him and Big E. So I don't think they were going to turn on each other or anything, but I think they were going to like work together. So yeah, and it's such a rubbish spot to get eliminated on. That one where he gets like thrown and he goes over to the barricades. I think that's rubbish. That's a rubbish spot. We've seen it so many times. If we hadn't seen it before, you'd be like, fair play, but we've seen it so many times. Texas Tornado. It's a good name, that, isn't it? The Texas Tornado. It's a good wrestler name. He's got white trunks. Love the tassels over his boots as well. And the long hair. Ric Flair coming over. So we got Repo Man in there. We got Ric Flair. We got Texas Tornado. Shawn Michaels. Tito Santana. Barbarian. Double axe handle saying Texas Tornado. Again, trying to go through that middle rope. We're coming up to number 11. 3, 2, 1. Next person to come out. Greg the Hammer Valentine. Greg Valentine. Greg Valentine actually in like I think are they red and yellow trunks? Yep. Former Intercontinental Champ, former Tag Team Champ. Just a real brawler. Just a real nasty kind of... In a way, I suppose, Greg Valentine, would you say he was a bit like the Kevin Owens of his day? He could do like some stuff in there, but he was really just a brawler. I mean, look at these, just throwing in some really nasty chops. Had a bit of a size to him as well. Always had a bit of a... Carried a little bit of weight to him. But he was in some real legendary matches. I've got the Hasbro of Greg the Hammer Valentine. Strike coming in. Famously had, wasn't it, the dog collar match with Roddy Piper? And... they had a match where they both were wearing dog collars, and Greg, I think, wrapped the chain around his hand, punched Roddy Piper in the ear, just completely made Roddy Piper deaf in one ear from that time forward. True story. Made him deaf because of this dog collar match they had. I'm sure that was Greg the Hammer Valentine and Roddy Piper. And I'm also pretty sure... Didn't Brody Lee have a dog collar match with Cody? And in the crowd at AEW was Greg the Hammer Valentine. 2, 1. Next out, Nikolai Volkov. Nikolai Volkov making his way down. So, Nikolai. Volkov, we're not getting many eliminations. Let me tell you, not many eliminations at all. Ric Flair said he's never going to go back to WWE, says Johnny. John said the Von Erichs were kind of like the Allman Brothers or Leonard Skinner in terms of being cursed with tragedies. Even though the Freebirds tried to be the Allmans or the Leonard Skinner of wrestling. It's true. If you've ever seen that Dark Side of the Ring episode on the Von Erichs, or if you've never seen Dark Side of the Ring about the Von Erichs, check it out. Because John's absolutely right. John Costello, absolutely right. What that family went through and the tragedy that family went through. I don't know. I mean, was it just too much for them? I don't know. I mean, they were gods in Texas. They were gods. The Von Erichs were gods. They couldn't do no wrong. They were seen as just like all the girls fancied them. All the guys wanted to be them. They were the kings of Texas. And I just wonder if that got to them. Nikolai Volkov eliminated. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 people in. I think we've only had about 4 eliminations so far. Big strike coming in by Texas Tornado. And again, it's great seeing 2 legends like Greg the Hammer Valentine teeing off on Ric Flair. This Rumble really reminds me of like a 2K game. Like, you just look over and you've got, like, Texas Tornado with Ric Flair. You've got Greg the Hammer Valentine with British Bulldog. And then out comes the Big Boss Man. The cool Big Boss Man as well. Big Boss Man making his way down to the ring. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, better toe the line, respect the law and order. Yourself hard time. There he is in the ring getting look, Big Boss Man and Shawn Michaels, man. Big shots. Love this version of Boss Man. Hated him when he went like SWAT team, Attitude Era. That sucked. But this blue shirt, face Boss Man. Brilliant. Brilliant. Big Boss Man. I'd have him in my Dream Rumble. How many Dream Rumbles would I have? I'd have Bulldog. I'd have Flair, I'd have Shawn, I'd have Texas Tornado, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Big Boss Man. Probably have about 6 out of 13 so far. Probably have about 6 out of 13. Currently operating at about 50%, which is funny actually because I think this Rumble's got 16 Hall of Famers out of 30 participants. Might even be higher now. So I'm probably tracking about that same level. Don't need Sags. I'd replace Sags. Haku's a bit of a legend, isn't he? Barbarian never quite really reached what I thought he would. Repo Man. I mean, it is Smash from Demolition, but I'd prefer him to be Smash from Demolition, actually. Tornado dumped up and to the outside. Davey, I think, might be out as well. I think Davey's gone. Texas Tornado has gone. We just had a real flurry there of eliminations, along with Repo Man. We're down to Shawn, Tito, Big Boss Man, Barbarian. Oh, Shawn and Tito are gone. We're down to 3. Hercules coming down. Hercules. Again, big powerhouse of a man. Making his way down to the ring. Hercules. Shots coming into the midsection by Hercules. So, don't turn on Barbarian. Barbarian coming over to Ric Flair. Ric Flair going against the ropes. Oh, big slam. He was so powerful, Barbarian. So powerful. So, yeah, look, Barbarian saying to the crowd he's going to eliminate Ric Flair. Picks up Flair. Flair in trouble. Hercules comes over. That's a great spot, actually. Oh! Bossman survives. We're down to Ric Flair and Bossman. Ric Flair and Bossman. Everyone's gone apart from Ric Flair and the big boss man. Boss man going against the ropes. Back chop. Big clothesline. Ric Flair goes down. Flair and boss man. Oh, look at that. Oh, my God. Look at that roundhouse kick. Look at that roundhouse kick by the big boss man. That is insane. Oh, boss man. Sort of eliminates himself. Hurls himself at Ric Flair. Gets hung onto that top rope. Ends up going over the top. Ric Flair drops down. Can we just pay some respect to that big boss man roundhouse kick? That was amazing. 5, 4, 3. Ric Flair is the only one in the ring right now. So we're up to number 15. And it's just Ric Flair. And here comes Roddy Piper. And fun fact, Roddy Piper... Oh, Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper is the first person to be on the undercard and then in the Rumble. He's the first person to do it. They're going banana. Big back body drop. Look, Piper. Knee lifts. Piper and Flair. Piper and Flair. Roddy Piper and Ric Flair on the outside. Big clothesline. Ric Flair goes down. Face first. Do we ever see this match? Do we ever get this match? Oh, bang. Big chop coming in by Roddy Piper. Do we ever get this? I don't know if we ever get this match. Back into the corner goes Ric Flair. Big strikes coming in by Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper and Ric Flair. Oh, look. Atomic drop. Poke in the eye. Big clothesline. Ric Flair goes down. Roddy Piper coming over. Ric Flair. Piper's got Flair up on his shoulders. Airplane spin. Airplane spin. Only person I've seen do that in recent years is Tyler Bate. And a sleeper. Roddy Piper had won the Intercontinental Championship earlier in this show. And now here he is in the Royal Rumble. Ric Flair's already been in there for about half an hour or so. And Roddy Piper, just this absolute ball of energy. That was good, man. Those couple, that was a really good part in this Rumble. Again, sleeper hold applied. Jake the Snake Roberts. Ugh. There's times where this Rumble just goes God mode. This bit right here, where you've got Ric Flair. Ric Flair has just been... Look, Jake just goes right to the corner, just sits there and watches. Jake the Snake just slumps into the corner, goes over. Love that ring gear on Jake as well. Black tights, flames coming up the knees with the snakes on the side. Looks really cool. This is really cool. I love the boss man, Ric Flair, going into Piper Ric Flair, going into Jake the Snake coming out. That is just a beautiful part of any Rumble. Here we go. Look, there's a bit of a union. Oh, he thought there was a union. Ric Flair. You can't trust a snake. I've always said that, says Bobby. This isn't fair to Flair. He's losing his voice, Bobby, here. Look, going for the DDT, but didn't quite get it. Clothesline by Roddy Piper. I mean, look at this. Imagine this if this was a triple threat. Ric Flair, Jake the Snake, Roddy Piper. Figure 4 on Jake the Snake, Roddy Piper stomping away on both of them. You skirt wearing freak. Skirt wearing freak. That's what Bobby just called Roddy Piper. Strike coming in. Roddy Piper in a bit of trouble. Jake going straight over. He's going to try and get Roddy Piper out. Counting down again. 2, 1. Next out. Oh! Hacksaw Jim Duggan making his way down. Never my favourite. Very American, of course. Doesn't really resonate with me here in England, but if you're American, I should imagine Hacksaw was someone you had a lot of love for. Ah, big strikes coming in. Great reaction for Hacksaw Jim Duggan as well. Great reaction. White Lotus said, I met Piper in 95. Forget last night's Rumble and revel in the majesty of Royal Rumble 1992. Loving that commentary, said Randy. It's great, isn't it? Lots of hoes in the chat right now. Ho! Okay, is in the same kind of attire as Roddy Piper. Both in those kind of very, almost exactly the same trunks. Poke to the eye of Ric Flair. And a bit of biting as well by Roddy Piper. So we got Hacksaw, we got Jake the Snake, we got Roddy Piper, we got Ric Flair. We've got around about 12 people still to come in. And some of those 12, massive names. Massive names. This Rumble is far from over. But this little spell in this middle bit here. I like the start because I like Ric Flair. I like the Bulldog. I like seeing Shawn come in. I like Texas Tornado. And then that middle bit. Lovely. Big chop coming in here by Roddy Piper. Strike coming in by Hacksaw. Jake with a shot to Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper staggers back into the corner. IRS. IRS making his way down to the ring now. Bray Wyatt's dad, of course. Erwin R. Shyster. IRS. So, IRS making his way into the ring. Going over and grabbing. Going after Ric Flair. IRS was never like my favourite, to be honest. Saw him as a really great like tag team guy, but didn't really see him as a great like didn't see him as a great singles wrestler. But he's still a great name, IRS. CM Brock said, this is better than this year's Rumble. I don't know if that's just nostalgia speaking or not. What were your thoughts on the interview? What did she mean when she said, I'm not falling for it this time? Oh, well, the fans turned on Ronda, didn't they? So, you know, she got a good reaction. She also got a bit of hate and whatever. But she got a great reaction when she first walked out. So, I think she's saying that she's basically not gonna fall for it. Mike Rotunda was a great technical wrestler, says White Lotus. What network are you watching this on? This is on the WWE network, buds. An old retro watch-along, Royal Rumble 1992. And, yeah, you can watch it anytime over there. So, if you want to just join us, just go to the WWE network, get Royal Rumble 92, and just get to 2 hours 4. In fact, this only runs for another half an hour. So, you're actually joining at a really good time. Half an hour left here. Countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We go next person, number 19. Superfly. Jimmy Snuka, the Superfly. Tamina's dad. We've just gone from Bray's dad to Tamina's dad. The Superfly. And as much as we look back at the Superfly now and go, ooh, because he was someone that obviously is believed to have murdered his girlfriend at the time. I don't think it was ever like proven in court or whatever, but again, dark side of the ring. Looks like he did it. And you still can't like, it's still amazing how over he was. It's a bit past his time here, in all fairness. Probably you'd need to go back about 10 years earlier or 8 years earlier than this for Superfly. But I think everyone remembers Superfly being on top of the cage. It's still one of the best hires. I don't think, you see, the thing is, people can do all this stuff now, all this high-flying stuff now, but we've seen so much of it that it's very hard to have the same impact. Superfly, when he was at the top of the cage and got his hands in the air and, like, jumped off, like, the top of the cage. That was amazing. That was an amazing moment in the history of wrestling. I think, was it against Don Morocco? I think it was against Don Morocco. That was, like, early 80s, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably going back 10 years before this. But still, I mean, the Superfly, I don't know if that would be a surprise or not. I don't know if the Superfly was really that active around this time. He might have still been around. But in a way, Superfly would feel like a legend even at that time, to be honest. And Ian around much longer. Of course, you do see Superfly, I think, WrestleMania 25. They have him at WrestleMania 25. Jericho, wasn't it? Ah! Oh, yeah. Oh, my Undertaker. Undertaker making his way down. So, Undertaker. Making his way slowly down to the ring. So, in the ring at the moment, we've got Superfly, we've got Ric Flair. It is lagging, isn't it? And do you know what? It's only been lagging since I've been doing this. I wonder if it's got something to do with my phone or something interfering, I wonder. Don't know. I don't know if it's a storm. I don't know if it's my phone. Undertaker going after Ric Flair. He's got Ric Flair in the corner. We haven't got too many more to go, though. In all fairness, there's only like 10 more to come out, so I don't know if it is this. I can hear the wind. In all fairness, so I think there is a bit of a storm that's coming in. So maybe it's a bit stormy. In fact, I can actually even hear the grate rustling. So I think it is a bit moody out there, you know. Either way, Undertaker has made his way down. Big shots coming in on Hacksaw. Lovely bit in the middle. Little bit of a lull. I've put Tamina. I don't know why I've put flipping Tamina. It's because I was talking about her rather than the Superfly. Imagine if Tamina did come down. Tamina's dad. There we go. Superfly. Over in the corner. Next person coming down. Number 21. In the ring right now. Jake. Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, Undertaker, about to join them, Macho Man Randy Savage, oh yeah, Macho Man making his way down to the ring, he burst out. Macho Man ran down to the ring quicker than Liv Morgan did last night. Macho Man in the ring, he's got gold and like purple attire. And look at Macho Man with Undertaker and Jake the Snake. Look, imagine that as a triple threat. So Macho Man running down, and there he is with Jake the Snake. Obviously, they've just kind of been in a feud, those two. It's not too far after them two had feuded. Not too long after the snake bite, which I think was at the end of 91. Double axe handle. In fact, this might be the very next pay-per-view after that Tuesday in Texas. Oh, Jake's gone! Savage has just eliminated himself. He so desperately wants to get at Jake. He's jumped over the top. And here's Undertaker, look, jumping out, grabbing Macho Man. Macho Man does not care about winning this. He wants Jake the Snake. Strike coming in by Undertaker on the outside of the ring. So right now we've got Macho Man. We've got Undertaker chucking Macho Man back in. Just think of all the legends that Undertaker has wrestled and competed against. And here he is, look. With Macho Man. Big strike. Macho goes down. Jake the Snake stomping away on Macho Man. Grabs Macho, throws him back into the ring. Strikes coming in by, look at these quick strikes by Roddy Piper on Ric Flair. Flair is still in there. Flair, who came down at number 3, is still in there. Undertaker rolling his eyes back, showing the whites of his eyes. We've got about 25 minutes left, and that's it. About 25 minutes to go. Undertaker in there, getting some big shots from Hacksaw. I love this Undertaker. Big arm comes crashing down on the back of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Down goes IRS. Been a little while, I think, since we had some eliminations. Obviously, we just had Macho and Jake both getting eliminated. Macho's in the corner, but he jumped over the top. I don't know why the refs are not getting Macho out of there. 3, 2, 1. Man, so much happened in those few minutes. Here comes Berserker. Berserker making his way down now. Huss. 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 What the hell did that mean? It's all he used to do. Huss. Huss. He was a big guy. I mean, we were talking about Barbarian earlier, but I think Berserker was even bigger. So, Berserker making his way down. Kicks coming in on Macho Man. Ric Flair still in there. Hacksaw in the corner. This is the final hour. Look at Undertaker. That's a great shot of Undertaker in the corner. He's got, it was someone by the throat. I don't know if it was Roddy Piper. His eyes are back. He's like, classic Undertaker. Ric Flair on the outside edge of the ring here. And suplexed in by Macho Man. I tell you, Macho Man jumps over the top, eliminates himself. Would have been very controversial if he'd gone on to win this. I really didn't remember that he got back into the ring and then like carried on fighting during the Rumble. He absolutely jumps over the top and eliminates himself. There's no escaping that. Kick coming in by Berserker. 10 seconds. Counting down again. Slammed down by Berserker. 2, 1. Virgil. Some bad lag. Bad lag. We'll get through. We'll get through this Rumble. Don't you worry. Ric Flair coming over, grabbing the eyes of The Undertaker. Ric Flair chopping away on Undertaker. Undertaker has got Ric Flair. How amazing these two would face each other at WrestleMania years and years and years after this. I mean, it's got to be like 14 years, something like that. He's got Ric Flair over in the corner. You're going to have to kill him to get him out of this ring, says Bobby. Gorilla's like he's got nothing to be ashamed of. He's only 5 minutes from setting the all-time record at this point. Ric Flair, 5 minutes away from setting the all-time record of being in this match for the longest. Longer than anyone else. Countdown again. Here we go. Number 24 next. Colonel Mustafa. Now, Colonel Mustafa, I appreciate, is maybe not the most exciting person in the world. But he is a lot more exciting when you remember that is actually the Iron Sheik former WWF champion, the Iron Sheik. The man that Hulk Hogan beat for Hulkamania to arrive. Very, very dangerous. And actually, there was someone at Royal Rumble 2022 that had a sign that said, "Pay respect to Sheiky Baby." That was in the front row of the Royal Rumble last night. And here he is as Colonel Mustafa. This was obviously WrestleMania 91, WrestleMania 7, SummerSlam. That's where, you've got the Iraq Gulf War. Sergeant Slaughter getting all the bad kind of press, the death threats. And that's where you've got General Adnan. It's where you've got Colonel Mustafa. This is the Knickerbocker Arena. 17,000. It looks more than 17,000. Great to see the Iron Sheik in there, though. Again, very much like the Superfly, a legend, a real legend that Hogan beat in '84 to launch Hulkamania. He beat Bob Backlund, didn't he, the Iron Sheik? He beat Bob Backlund, and then Hogan beat the Iron Sheik, and that was the birth in '84 of Hulkamania. And as we said, here he is now in this Royal Rumble, a definite legend. He would be in the gimmick Battle Royal at WrestleMania 17 as the Iron Sheik. He would win it. Here's Rick the Model Martel. Someone I would love to see come back and be in a Rumble. I don't know what he looks like these days. I don't know if he'd be able to do it. But, man, if you want a proper nostalgia pop, bring Rick the Model Martel down with his arrogance. Do you remember when he sprayed that in the eyes of Jake the Snake and he blinded Jake the Snake at WrestleMania? That was great. Big strikes coming in by Rick the Model Martel. And he's working on Ric Flair. So we've got Rick Martel and Ric Flair at it. We've got the Iron. Keep calling him the Iron Sheik, but it's Colonel Mustafa, a.k.a. the Iron Sheik, in there as well. Undertaker is still in there. Macho Man is still in there. Ric Flair is still in there. Undertaker and Macho Man going at it right now. Ric Flair on the edge of the ring. I don't know how many of these people are no longer with us. Bulldog's no longer with us. Texas Tornado's no longer with us. Bossman's no longer with us. Roddy's no longer with us. Superfly's no longer with us. Macho Man's no longer with us. I've got around about 6. There could be more. I don't know about Hercules and Barbarian, Berserker. Virgil is. Jake obviously is. IRS is. Undertaker is. But there's a few that sadly aren't. Right, we've got 5 more to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next person to come down. It's the Hulkster. I think, looking back at this Rumble, it definitely hurts not having the music. I wish the music was there. Hogan. And as we said earlier, we know that Haku was meant to be Knobs from the Nasty Boys. And we know that Nikolai Volkov was meant to be Marty Jannetty. I mean, Nikolai Volkov, if that was Marty, that would have been huge. Because this is a week after the barbershop thing. So Marty being in this, he would have got a massive pop. Because it's only a week after Shawn has turned on him. But Hogan's in there now. Hulk Hogan. Hogan and Undertaker. Them two had clothesline over the top. Undertaker eliminated by Hogan. Undertaker, you got to remember, this is for the title. Berserkers out there. Ah, the shirt is ripped. The shirt is ripped. And he goes over and he starts... Again, if you watch a lot of Hogan, he does a load of heel stuff. He's took his shirt off. He's now choking out Rick the Model Martel. It's not very kind, is it? Virgil's gone. Hacksaw's gone. Hogan and Flair. Hogan and Flair. Hogan and Flair. Hogan and Flair. Ric Flair, the man in the NWA. Hulk Hogan, the man in WWF. And here they are, look. Them two face to face in the ring. Skinner making his way down. Skinner. The Alligator Man, fresh, ready to go. Hogan picking up Ric Flair. Ric Flair in a bit of trouble. IRS coming over. Kick to the midsection. IRS has got Hogan's shirt over his shoulders. I bet Bray Wyatt had some wonderful memorabilia as a kid. Pretty sure IRS could take that shirt back home with him if he wanted. Hogan has got Skinner by the head. Headbutt to the back of the head. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. 4 more to go. And this thing is only going to be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes left. Roddy Piper still in there. Winner of this becomes WWF champion. The winner of this gets the belt. Skinner using that T-shirt. That T-shirt's become one of the biggest weapons in the ring. He's actually choking Hogan with his own T-shirt. Hogan being choked out by Skinner at the moment. I think we're down to around about 7. And Macho should not be in there. Macho eliminated himself. Big chop coming in by Hogan. Ric Flair with Hogan hurling him into the corner. Big clothesline. Ric Flair goes down. Skinner goes down. You got another countdown. 4 to go. 2, 1. Here we go. Next person. Sergeant Slaughter. Former WWF champion Sergeant Slaughter. You might remember the main event, WrestleMania 7. Hulk Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter. Slaughter, who I don't think would actually be an active wrestler for much longer after this. Skinner eliminated. Big strikes coming in by Slaughter. Again, big shot coming in by Slaughter. Ric Flair back in the corner. This Storm, man. I think we might have started maybe just a touch too late. Because I reckon if we'd have got this wrapped up maybe an hour earlier, we would have been all right with lag. But I think there's a bit of a storm that's moving him. All I can hear is the wind, and it sounds horrific. We've got... Right, hang on, I need to add that to this, don't I? Right. Oh, I have added it. Give him the title. That's good enough for me. I think there's like a limit on the amount of letters I can use or something. It's not adding them anymore. We'll get rid of... I think what we'll do is we'll bring the chat back. We'll bring the chat back. I think it's... it won't let me fill any more letters. I think we've only got a couple more to go, have we? Will you be streaming the final hour of Deadline Day? I think there's a chance that we could do that. Here we go. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sid Justice. Sid Justice making his way down. That was number 29. So Sid Justice is number 29. I can tell you the person that gets the most eliminations in this Rumble is Sid Justice. Sid Justice racing down. Look, just going to start chucking people out now. This is before he was Psycho Sid. Sergeant Slaughter should be next. We've got Ric Flair still in there. Hogan still in there. Sid Justice throwing in a big shot to Rick the Model Martel. We've got Roddy Piper in there as well. Really is a who's who, this one. Sid Justice was big at the time. I mean, some of these you might look back on now and go, oh, Sid Justice, but he main events WrestleMania 8. He goes on to main event against Undertaker as well. He main events a couple of WrestleManias. He's still around as well. Like, he's someone that could come back as a surprise at a Rumble. One more to go. This Rumble is funny. Do you think Ronda could challenge Becky and Charlotte? I don't think she'll do that. My only concern is this lag. That's my only concern. Beautiful kip up by Justice. Beautiful. One entry left and about 10 minutes to go. Two, one. Here we go. Final person. Warlord. So Warlord is the final person to make his way down. So it's going to be one of these guys that will go on to be the world champion. IRS, Macho Man, Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, Sid Justice, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, who only just won the Intercontinental belt, Ric Flair, or Warlord. Warlord coming in, double axe handle to Roddy Piper. We got Ric Flair and Hogan on the outside of the ring. Suplex to Ric Flair. IRS charging over into Macho Man. Double axe handle by Rick Martel. Oh, wow. Sergeant Slaughter just gets hurled so hard into the corner. He goes flying over the top. That is a hell of an elimination. Against the ropes goes Flair. Big boot. Flair goes down. Desperately wanted Hogan and Flair, so seeing them two go at it here is really cool. Strikes coming in by the Warlords. If we weren't so close to the end, I would just drop the quality and just change routers, but we've literally got 9 minutes. Warlord eliminated. Warlord eliminated. We're down to about the final 6. Here we go. Roddy Piper with Martel. Rick the Model Martel. In trouble. Both get chucked over the top and both are eliminated. We might be down to the final 4. Sid Justice. Macho. What a final 4. Sid Justice, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and Macho Man had already eliminated himself. Hogan and Flair on the one side, Sid Justice and Macho Man on the other. Sultan said I have to dip. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday for Strickland against Hermanson. Sultan, shout out to you, dude. Appreciate the support and appreciate you joining us. Ric Flair gets hurled into the corner, turned upside down. Big strike goes over the top. Should be all right. Oh, Macho is eliminated. Hogan is eliminated. There are no friends. And look at that. Hogan eliminated. Yeah, and this is so strange. I think in retrospect, they probably wish they hadn't have done this bit. But look, I mean, Hogan gets eliminated for real, and then he grabs Sid Justice. Ric Flair tips Sid Justice over the top rope. Ric Flair wins. Ric Flair wins from number 3. And there'd probably be a lot of people there. If that was today, people would be like, did Hogan just turn heel? Did Hogan just turn heel? Was that a heel? There'd be people doing that. Back then, you didn't really think about it. Ric Flair is the champion. Hulk Hogan gets into the ring. Ric Flair gets out. Doesn't make any difference. His hand is raised. The new WWF champion, Ric Flair. Sid Justice gets into the ring, stares at Hogan. I mean, look at the size of Sid Justice. This would obviously lead to Hogan and Sid Justice at WrestleMania 8. And obviously Ric Flair as champion would then defend at WrestleMania 8 against the Macho Man. That was the Final Four, wasn't it? Thinking about it. Final Four was Macho Man, Ric Flair, Hogan, Sid Justice. Yeah, we've had to get a load of officials in there. Load of officials in there trying to separate. I think Pat Patterson's one of them. I don't know if there's enough guys out there to keep these two apart, says Gorilla. Imagine if last night's Rumble was for a championship and Bad Bunny had won. What current WWE superstar would you put in? Probably have to be Roman, wouldn't it? Roman or Brock. I reckon you could definitely swap about 10 to 15 of people in this one with modern people from like last night, and wow, what a Rumble you would have. What a Rumble you would have. So right now you could just like tensions being teased. Hogan chants. You can hear a few Hogan chants. Apparently they had to really edit out a load of boos for Hogan. I can't say I can hear any boos. Right, we're backstage. I love this bit. This is iconic. Look. Backstage. Mean Gene with Jack Tunney. Jack Tunney's got the belt. Bobby's there. Mr. Perfect's there. Ric Flair's there. This would be done in the ring now. They wouldn't do this backstage these days. I'm going to tell you all, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. Only way you can stay number one is to be number one. I love Bobby in the background, man. Bobby, look at Bobby. He's just the best. He's just like, you can't believe it. You'd need a sandblaster to get that smile off Bobby the Brain Heenan's face. Woo! Over 60 minutes. He is the real world's champion. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's brilliant. It's brilliant. This post-fight interview is brilliant. with a tear in my eye. Ugh. For the Hulk Hogans. You all pay homage to the man. That's really interesting, actually, because, you know, when Becky was calling herself the man, and everyone was like, well, Ric Flair never really called himself the man. It was always, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, quite clearly there, he just called himself the man. He just said, you'll all pay homage to the man. So he did use the man. That is his saying. How interesting. How interesting. There's loads about that I love. Whenever I get asked what my favourite Rumble is, I always say 92. Having watched it, I don't think there's much that would change my mind. I love Davey at the start, and it's very hard to go back and watch Rumbles that you've already seen because you know the result and you know that your favourites aren't going to win or whatever might win. I don't know, but I remember watching it the first time, and I remember really wanting Davey to win, and that would be the first part. I love the middle part of that Rumble. The middle part of that Rumble where you've got Ric Flair and Big Boss Man, and then you got Jake the Snake coming down. You got Rowdy Roddy Piper coming down. I love that middle part of the Rumble. I think that's brilliant. I love the ending. You know, it's not a bad ending as well when you've got like Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. Like again, there's a few moments in that Rumble where there's just this real, just incredible run of like 3-4 superstars that are just massive names. You know, Macho Man busting down to the ring like he's just been fired out of a cannon. Some incredible stuff in that Rumble. And of course, as we said, I think the fact the title was on the line kind of really helps elevate it as well, because it means the winner really does receive something significant. It's not just a title opportunity, it's the belt itself. And you have to remember that at the time, Ric Flair hadn't been in there that long. So him becoming, that's his first WWE title run. That's how he wins his first WWE title. We all thought it was going to build towards Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. They do a load of house shows, and it doesn't really, the crowd don't seem to be massively into it, which is why at WrestleMania 8, I mean, that is perfectly built now for us to get Hogan Flair at WrestleMania for the title. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, WWE Championship, WrestleMania 8. The house is built. All you got to do is open the door and walk in. But we don't. We end up getting Ric Flair, Macho Man, and we get Sid Justice, Hulk Hogan. So I think going back and watching it, there's maybe a lot you would look at, and like maybe some of those legends don't feel as big now. I mean, Sid Justice felt like a big deal back in the day, and maybe because he doesn't really go on to do a great deal, he doesn't feel as big now. So maybe there's a few of them that maybe haven't aged as well. But, by and large, I still think it's a wonderful Rumble. I think it's got some really great moments in it. And I like the little bits as well. I like Shawn Michaels. I never realised, and this is why you can really benefit from watching old shows again. Never realised this was just a week after the barbershop. I never knew that. So seeing his attire there, that makes me think that must be maybe his first solo attire. What was Shawn Michaels' first solo attire? Well, in my mind now, this is what I'm going to have to mind. And I'm going to, and then obviously he goes on to do what he does. Jennifer said, thanks for that retro watch along. Love reliving those moments. Much love to you all. We'll talk to you tomorrow for Raw. Sonny said, 7 minute. Thank you, by the way, Jennifer. Shout out to you. 7 minutes into Canada, USA, we had Canada score. It was a nice goal. Hogan refused to drop the belt to Flair, so they had to do it this way, says Dr. Kula. Vince was screwing up booking then as well. Beverly Brothers are kicking off the 93 Royal Rumble here, facing the Steiners. Hell of a match. What time is the final hour deadline day? I don't know. Is it just me, or does it feel like Becky has been champion for ages? I think it's getting stale. Well, I mean, I suppose she's been champ for a little while now. She won it at SummerSlam. And then, obviously, just swapped the belt after the draft. So she probably has been champ for a little while. I don't mind seeing a different person at top. Becky doesn't feel quite as big as what she did. She's still a big superstar. She's still a big deal. And always will be, but she doesn't feel quite, do you know what I mean? I'd say one of the low points was probably her against Doudrop yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch the Legends wrestle because of how young I am, so I'm glad you're doing this live stream. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Just a shame about the lag. The lag was the only real problem, to tell the truth. I was just having to watch that throughout the Rumble, and it was kind of taking me out of the Rumble a little bit. I'd love to have just been lost in it a little bit more. But, no, it was good. It was really good. Sid was massive. He was unbelievable as Sid Vicious. Trust me, no way overrated. He was big. Seeing him face to face with Hogan there, you do forget how big Sid was. Yeah, big. Why do I get timed out? I honestly don't know, dude. I haven't been able to get into the chat. And that is it. That is it. We are back tomorrow. We're back tomorrow for a very, very fun Raw. That is going to be massive. The fallout from the Royal Rumble is going to be huge. Tomorrow, we're going to hear from, obviously, Becky, following her win over Doudrop. We're obviously going to have the fallout to Edge and Beth, following Miz and Maurice and their victory over Miz and Maurice. And we'll see what's next in that story. As well as that, we've got a brand new champion. The almighty era has begun all over again. So we're going to hear from Bobby, I'm sure. We know that we've got Ronda Rousey on the show. So we've got the Women's Rumble winner on Raw. Apparently she is going to SmackDown, but we're going to hear her on Raw. I wonder if she will bump into Becky. I'm wondering, why would you not book a moment? Because she's not selected what champion she wants yet. So I wonder if there'll be a little moment where she teases that she might pick Becky, which could be really fun. So we've got that as well. So much to look forward to tomorrow. So much to look forward to. So, yes, can't wait for that. I hope you're excited for that. We will be back with that tomorrow. On the football channel, I'm sure we could do the final hour of transfer deadline day. I'm not sure what time that is. I haven't even looked into that yet. So I'll have a look into all of those little bits and bobs. But really appreciate you guys joining us for this kind of chilled Sunday night stream. Something a little bit different. We don't get a chance to do these very often. And honestly, I don't know when we're going to get a chance to do another one. So it is lovely to just go back and watch these, relive those moments. And I'm very conscious, as we've heard already, there's a lot of people that have never seen these shows, or certainly some people that have never seen these shows. So it's kind of nice to go back and kind of hold people's hands as we go back to some of this older stuff. There's some people that really are a bit put off by going this far back. You know, there's some people that would be very daunted at going back to like the 60s and stuff like that. Like, I'd be really down for watching some 60s wrestling, like really going back to like Bruno Sammartino era. I don't really know what's on the network. They didn't have pay-per-views then, so I don't know. We'll have a look. We'll see what other opportunities arise. Right now, I don't know when the next one will be. I certainly know when the next stream is on this channel, and that is tomorrow for a very big WWE Raw. So awesome, guys. Appreciate the support as always. Have a great evening wherever you are. Really do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.